All right, and we are live. Welcome back to Horse to Cinema, and today I have my guest Bobo to discuss
Bones.
to discuss the worst movies of 2025. How are you, Bobo? uh, well, I do have as well. Leon talks film.
Hi. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello. All right,
With his
go on.
dog. Yeah. Well, how are you, man? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. I've watched an excellent amount of films this year. Food Fight, Religulous, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, The Stranger Things finale. I'm having the best month of my life.
Yeah, we're kicking off 2026 on in the right way.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
thanks to
How about
everybody who
you?
tuned in last week to watch our best of 2025 list.
Yes.
It was a really fun time going down that
This
list.
yeah.
Um, and we
Not
had a
not
really
much
good variety
positive.
there. Like we had I think between us we had some in our 20 possible that were on the list, we had like 17 or 18 different films. Like we had a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
it was a lot of different I don't know, we there was a lot of variety between the
Yeah.
two lists that we had and the honorable mentions that we had too. I'm sure there's going to be less variety on this one.
I think we probably have a little bit of overlap is my guess.
I know one of yours that I'm absolutely gonna disagree with, and I can't even believe you would consider putting it there, considering how good it is.
I think I know what you're talking about, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, today we are counting down our worst films of 2025 list. And so I figured one thing we do real quick is start off with just a few, like if you have any like dishonorable mentions. We won't go quite as long as we did with the honorable mentions
Yeah.
segment last week, but if there's a few films that maybe were not the worst thing you saw, but were maybe like a 2-star film or something that kind of disappointed you or something like that.
So,
I'll let
I'm
you go
looking
first.
at my letterbox list right now. I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not going to point out every two-star movie. I'm just going to point out a handful that I was really let down by. These are like letdowns to pretty bad. Not like some films, like something like The Running Man. I gave 2 stars, but I think it's fine. Like it's watchable. It's just something I didn't like. Like these are films that I think are like edging to be contenders for the worst list. So a Minecraft movie, I thought that was a total stinker. Really, really bad. I mean, it's Minecraft. I had the worst theatrical experience of my life watching that. Please read my letterbox review if you want more information on that, because that's one of my favorites. The Home, which is a horror film directed by the creator of The Purge, starring Pete Davidson, and I'd heard, whoa, this movie's so crazy, so messed up, and then you watch it, and it's really, really bad, very poor horror movie. Death of a Unicorn, I thought was really bad as well. I kind of like almost veers into self parody for A24, and it was just kind of unfortunate. Got to give a quick shout out to Tron Ares because
Oh, I didn't see that one. Yeah.
yeah, the music's good, but like that's it. If you want to watch 2 hours of Jared Leto not emoting
Yeah.
and being bad, you can get it. And it also, I'm forgetting her name, but the lady from Past Lives is in it, and she's really bad too. Um,
Oh, Greta
Greta Lee? Is it
Lee.
Greta?
Yeah.
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 And then the last few I'll mention: Love Hurts, the Keihu Kwan action movie.
We will be talking
Atro-
about this one.
Okay, I'll save
Definitely.
my thoughts for now then. But whew. The Until Dawn movie, really, really, really fucking bad. Not even in a way where I'm like, oh, it's different to the video games. Just I think David F. Sandberg is quite a poor horror filmmaker, and this is just like one of his most just like unremarkable, just motion pictures I've ever seen. Just like brimming with, hey, look, it's the shot from the Evil Dead poster. Hey, look, crazy explosions. I'm like, fuck off. Bad movie. Wolfman, really bad. Really.
Hey, Wolfman, not that bad.
Oh,
Wolfman's really.
Wolfman sucked. I hated Wolfman. I thought
I
Wolfman
was,
was.
to be fair, I'm like one of the very few people to give Wolfman like a 3-star review.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
you are.
Yeah, I'm aware I'm very much on the positive side on it, but I don't know. I thought it was fairly well directed. I understand the complaints people have about the lighting and some of the aspects of the story and whatnot, but I don't know. I had a fun time with it, but I understand. I understand.
I'm
It's not
glad.
like one
I'm
of the
glad you had
worst. It's just on your dishonorable mentions. So
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's very close to the top 10. It's like one and then the last two I'll shout out: Captain America: Brave New World, the fourth Captain America movie. Really bad, really awful. Looks like mush. It looks like concrete. AI generated screenplay, made by a filmmaker who's never really made good films in the past. I think he directed The Cloverfield Paradox, that really bad one that killed the Cloverfield franchise. There's like Harrison Ford is like sleeping through his performance, and it has some of the worst visual effects, action, spectacle, just mind-numbing stuff. Really bad. And finally, Heart Eyes, which is a Paramount
I never saw
spyglass
this.
slasher
Yeah.
film. The Did you see Heart Eyes?
No, no.
No, no, it was really bad. I kind of like how I was talking about with Until Dawn, where it was just like, oh hey, look, it's the Evil Dead poster shot we're recreating, and hey, isn't it wacky and crazy? The problem with Heart Eyes is, and it's so close that like it could almost be considered like an honorable 11th pick. That it's so close to being on the list because I hated it. Valentine's Day slasher, which sounds fun on paper, but you're watching the film and it's edited like a trailer to the point where there's like moments where a character will do a joke and then music cuts out, and I found that really insufferable, like having a film edited like a trailer for the most part. And every single kill in the film is stealing from an iconic horror film. So you've just got sequences like that Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake shot where it goes through the head. They just replicate that. There's like shots from like Happy Birthday to Me, I'm pretty sure, in this that they're just replicating, and it just feels like, hey, I know horror films, so I'm just gonna like rip all of these like pieces from films that I like and like pretend it's my own. It's like a bad Tarantino slasher. Like that's the best way to describe it. Like if Tarantino had like 3 brain cells and didn't know how to make a good movie, you'd get Heart Eyes really bad.
That's unfortunate.
They're my dishonorable mentions. How
Okay.
about yours?
Yeah, I've got a few here. Those are some good shouts. I'm gonna go with yeah. Some of these are just ones that I was a little disappointed by. So one is Ballerina from the world of John Wick.
Okay.
I I was hopeful for this because I really like Ana de Armas, especially in action movies. I think she's one of the best parts of that No Time to Die Bond movie. But I don't know. I just thought this was kind of trying to do like it was a pretty big step down from like the Chad Stahelski like action directing and like the main movies, and then it was also it was trying to do the it was trying to earn the same kind of character arc as the main ones do, but they don't actually do the full work of getting you to care about the revenge arc and the emotion of everything and all that. So it was just a little disappointing for me. It wasn't terrible, but I figured I'd mention it.
I gotta mention something very funny, but you might not know.
Okay.
Ballerina is technically not a Chad Stahelski movie, but it's a Chad Stahelski movie. I don't know if you're familiar with the production, but he went back and reshot like the majority of that movie because the action was so bad. So all the action, ironically, is Chad Stahelski action.
Kind of, but again, it's like if he had to clean it up, it's not the same as like if he started from scratch and all that.
Oh yeah, I do agree that it is a step down from those films. I thought it was fine. Like I thought it was totally fine. Like it's not something I think I'm ever gonna rush to again. But like I understand the complaints. I really don't think it's like even anywhere remotely close to like the lesser John Wick films. Like it's just no. So I completely get that.
No, yeah, for sure. That was one. Bring Her Back was another one that I just a lot of people I think were really huge on, and I don't know. I found it like mean to a fault. Like I thought that I just didn't really get involved in any of the character stuff. It was so kind of cruel to its characters. I kind of felt like they were almost just like devices to an extent. But again, not that bad. we're starting to get into the stuff that I'm really like critical of. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro, uh, complete bastardization of the themes of the book. Like it's such a simplification of the morality of it. It's a it's just kind of an excuse for him to be able to make the same like, oh, like this creature has been tortured and it is looked down on by the evil humans kind of story that he's been doing over and over again, when the Frankenstein text to me is much more complicated than that. So that was definitely one. Another one, here's one you will agree on, and I think will probably on your list based on your honorable mentions, is The Monkey by Oscar Perkins. I remember you and I talked about this last year. We thought the trailer looked really fun, and then we saw the movie, and it was kind of no, it was like it was like they really like it was like almost like a horror version of like Deadpool. It was so like self-satisfied with all of its gags and kind of, thinking that it was way like funnier and kind of more offensive than it was. And it was.
We will talk about it.
We'll talk about it more when we get to you for sure. Here's one that's kind of a nepotism project. Is Anemone. I hope I said that right.
Oh, Nemo reference. The Day-Lewis one.
Yes, this is Daniel Day-Lewis with his son, I believe Ronan Day-Lewis, I think is his name or something like that. But yeah, it's this kind of like slow, arty drama that takes place in a cabin. There are things to like about it, but it's just really undercooked in terms of the actual drama that you have to pay attention to. And then I don't think like they do all these metaphors about like weather and fish and flowers and everything, and it really doesn't like amount to anything by the end. And I ended up thinking like, yeah, this is just kind of like a nepotism project, unfortunately.
You see, in A Ghost Story, she eats a pie, and that symbolizes that she's depressed.
Yeah, it's not as bad as A Ghost Story. It's not. I promise you, it's not as bad as A Ghost Story, but it's not good. Another really disappointing one was a director from, actually these next two are kind of a double feature of bad movies that are like environmentalist satires. So we've got one which is The End by Joshua Oppenheimer, who made the documentaries The Act of Killing and The Look of Silence, which are about like kind of the Indonesian genocide and kind of about how people sort of play down their war crimes and their atrocities and things like that. This is similar in that it's about a rich family who is like in like an apocalypse bunker with and they're like oil tycoons. You can tell that they contributed to the environmental collapse and everything, but then they turn the movie into this like Umbrellas of Cherbourg kind of like speak musical, which is one of just the most bizarre choices I've ever seen, and kind of ruins the movie. Like anything it had going for it is destroyed by this choice of just like having really bad like singing kind of for the majority of the story. So
I'm gonna be real. I mean, you said directed by Oppenheimer and everything. I thought his last movie sucked anyway. Cillian Murphy was terrible.
I figured we might get that.
Anyway, continue.
The double feature that I have with it is the movie Can I Get a Witness, which is a Canadian, I think French Canadian, or it's a Canadian movie nonetheless, but it's essentially similar to that movie that Caitlin Cronenberg did last year, Humane. Where it's about like
kind of made my list, but like that was just like in the 2 stars, like not in my like top bottom 10 or anything. But no, I thought Humane was pretty bad.
Yeah, no, me too. But Can I Get a Witness is similar in that it's about a like dystopian environmental like society where once you reach a certain age, they do like mandatory suicide, and it's about like these 2 teenagers who have to be witnesses for this to make sure that happens. And there's a lot I could say about it. One of which is that it's kind of like pro-eco-fascism in that it's like, yes, people should die, like poor people should die for the sake of the environment, basically. but it's
Okay.
also, I mean, more to the point, it's just kind of lazy in terms of like it kind of presents its dystopian concept and kind of it assumes you agree with it already, and that it doesn't really engage with its ideas, which is unfortunate because they're pretty interesting ideas, honestly. And then just last, or wait, I think actually that was my last one before my top 10. So those are my dishonorable mentions. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So we'll
I,
do. Oh, go ahead.
great picks or
Great
not
picks, I
great
guess.
picks.
It's
I just agree
yeah.
with a handful, but like yeah, I'm like 70%, 75% on board with your picks so far.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel as enthusiastic to do this episode compared to the best of the year, the honorable mentions,
no, but we'll have some fun
for sure. Well, let's do a few comments here before we get into our bottom tens. We've got Josh from Through the Lens. Hey, man, good to see you.
Howdy.
He says, "Hey guys, why isn't War of the Worlds in the best list?"
It would have been in mine. It was just too crowded.
This is we'll talk about this at some point, but I have a feeling Leon and I might be our big point of contention for the stream.
Oh yeah.
We have Beth to Bree saying, "You're late." Yes, we did start a minute or two late. I apologize. I was coming over from. I was just watching a football game with my family, and I was on the highway. I didn't want to kill anybody, so I was a couple minutes late. So, okay, there you go. That's
Okay, I did.
Right.
I did post this in the Sleazoids Discord, so maybe some of those guys will.
Oh, is that true? Oh shit!
Yeah.
A lot of physical media. I know. Look at behind me. There's so much.
Whoa, that sounds crazy.
No.
Thank you.
He says, "Are you from Nottingham, mate?"
Me? No.
Well, I'm assuming he's not talking about me, Leah.
No, are you from Nottingham? Like,
Do I have a Nottingham accent?
Maybe. No, I'm from Coventry, down. Where's that? Like West Midlands, I guess. But I'm located in the northwest now.
Nice.
And I speak to a lot of Americans, so I have this weird tinge that's just like, I don't know what my accent is.
Americans and Canadians, you're on both sides of the
This is true. This is true. Hi, Brady, if you're tuning in.
If you're watching, hi Brady. Well, cool. That's our comments so far. So let's go ahead and do your number 10. What's your number 10 worst movie of 2025?
Drum roll! It is The Monkey Dirt by Osgood Perkins.
There we go. All right.
I loved The Monkey. I loved its really, really funny, what the shit balls sense of humor. I really loved the CGI gore that looks like really fake and unbelievable in every scene. I love where almost every single horror set piece is either like undercut by a joke or by people exploding. I think that was so funny. I really liked when characters would scream a lot for no reason. I loved the like shot for digitally shot, made for TV approach of the film. I love that even though it's a film that's like 90 minutes or like 100 minutes long, it feels like it's 2 hours long. I loved that. I loved the dual performance, the lead performance by why am I blanking on his name? Who's the main guy in it?
Oh shit, the kid.
Oh fuck, what's his name? I'm looking now. I really love Theo James. I really love Theo James, where he would wear clothes that didn't fit him, because that was funny, because you're looking at it, you're like, wait a minute, he shouldn't be wearing those. And I'm like, oh, that Oz Perkins, it's really funny. I love when all of the great points of the movie are just highlighted in the trailer, so then when you go and watch the movie, you've seen all of the gore, you've seen all of the like interesting stuff. I love that some of the scariest looking shots in the trailer are just dream sequences in the film. I really love all of the 9/11 jokes in the movie and jokes about plane crashes, because there's so many of them for some reason. I love The Monkey. One of the best. I mean, yeah, it was so great. It was fantastic. That's why it's on my top 10, bottom 10 of the year.
I will say that was the big thing for me, was out of everything you mentioned was the well, I mean, how obnoxious it was, but yes, everything, like the most shocking like horror gags in it are all in the trailer.
Oh yeah,
Like that's
every single piece. Like,
yeah,
there's no surprise. Like, my banner on Letterboxd is like my favorite shot from the film. It's in the trailer. It's just a shot of Theo James' evil variant in a strip club, and then like the stripper's coming down and has the monkey head, and I'm like, that's such a cool visual. I see that in the trailer. I'm like, whoa, is there gonna be like a set piece in a strip club or something with like a killer monkey? I'm like, what is that? That looks so cool. It's just part of a dream sequence because he's crazy and sees he sees the monkey everywhere. That's it. It's a 2 second shot that looks really interesting in the trailer and amounts to nothing. Or like the shot of Tatiana Maslany with like blood coming out of her eyes.
yeah,
Dream sequence. It's not real. It's like
yeah.
nothing tangible in that movie is ever real. And then when something real does happen, it's just what the shit balls, and that's it. Like
It's so
that's the whole
strange
thing.
that he wanted to, because this is clearly a very personal film from him
Yeah,
for him, in that
yeah,
he's making it about like, you know, crazy disasters sort of happening to somebody, like crazy violent disasters, like where his
yeah,
one of his parents died of, you know, AIDS suddenly, and then one of his parents died in 9/11. So these like
yeah.
freak events. And it's that personal, but then it feels so just tacked on. Like it doesn't feel like there's any weight to the actual violence when you
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
because
So
it's all digital and
yeah,
like it's like trying to emulate that Final Destination style of whoa, we got crazy kills, but most of the time it cuts away anyway. Like it doesn't really feel like there's anything super gruesome in the movie. Not that it needs to be like super gory, but when the whole marketing campaign for the film was shit like Neon posting, I don't know if you remember when they posted the response they got for the TV ads where it was like you can't have kids saying fuck and you can't have this shot of violent gore, and they were like marketing it as if, oh, it's this crazy movie that's way too gory and violent. And then you watch
yeah,
it, and I'm just like, the new Final Destination like outdoes this in every
oh
single
yeah,
way. And I know that film had a higher budget, but like it also has characters that are pretty half decent and didn't feel like it was 2 hours long. Like it's
yeah.
just paced
I mean, a
pretty
lot
well
of
and
the
it looks
other
good.
Final Destination movies have similar budgets, but don't have the same character work. But this one did,
Yeah.
and for it to come out in the same year as something like this is
Yeah, it's no Monkey. I've watched it twice, so I can't say that I can't say that I haven't given it the benefit of the doubt and at least tried to understand what the film is, especially after loving Longlegs so much. Like I've
yeah,
revisited Longlegs a handful of times, and still
same.
to this day, it's his only Osgood Perkins' only good film, and I'm baffled as to how he was able to pull that off. But then I remember Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cure and Silence of the Lambs exist, so he had the template there already. He just
Yeah,
puts in a really great handful of performances.
yeah. No,
um,
it's
the
it's pretty good.
monkey, woo!
It's good. It's a good first one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Um,
What's your number 10?
my number 10 is one that you mentioned in your honorable mentions, which is Death of a Unicorn.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, one of I think probably one of A24's worst films. At least not one that they gave Kevin Smith or Darren Aronofsky full reign to do what they want. But the
Hey, Coach
yeah,
isn't that bad.
so it's essentially about a it's kind of like Jurassic Park, like in terms of its writing. It's about a rich family that has an opportunity to try and achieve everlasting life through the discovery of this dead unicorn, and they're using like its blood to try and like prolong their lives and everything. And I kind of thought when I saw the trailer and like the way that they were marketing it, that my big problem with it was that it was going to be like one of those kind of very self-aware kind of like Ryan Reynoldsy like action comedies that just revels in its like self-awareness. But no, I think it mostly took itself seriously enough for it to work. The problem with it is that it does not have one original idea in the movie.
No.
It's exactly Jurassic Park and like what it's trying to do with its like both the literal like creature like thriller elements, and then also like the hey, you didn't stop to think if you wanted to see if you could, you didn't try to stop to think if you should, that kind of cautionary
Yeah.
tale idea. So I don't know. It's got a couple of okay performances. I don't think Ortega's terrible in it. I'll kind of watch anything she does, but yeah, this wasn't necessarily the worst thing I saw this year, but it was pretty. I don't know. I was pretty perplexed why they decided to invest as much money as they did in that. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's bland, it's forgettable. There's nothing really outstanding about the film. Its visual effects are kind of iffy. Again, it's so derivative of pre-existing media that it almost falls into like a faux A24 feeling film, like self-parody at times. And again, it's a total slog. Like I saw that, I can't remember. I think that came out in the first half of the year, and I barely remember anything about the film already. It's had that much of a lasting impact on me. I just remember being very, very disappointed. And no, just total slog to sit through, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's the other thing, is the beats of it as well are like really familiar. Like there's not a whole lot to be surprised by the time you get to the end of it. So yeah. They're trying to do something with the whole father-daughter thing in there, but it just doesn't have the effect they want it to.
Yeah.
But we got Jason here in the house, by the way. He's saying, "Hey, how's it going, man?" He says, "I haven't put my 10 worst movies together yet, but Snow White, Mickey 17, Friendship, Tron Ares, Freakier Friday, and Death of a Unicorn will try to make the list." I agree. I won't give you any shit for any of that, except for I really enjoyed Friendship, and then I kind of like Mickey 17.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jason, you are like I know we don't always agree with our takes. Like I'll love something that you might think is like the worst film of the year, but I am in agreement that Friendship sucks. Friendship is dishonorable mention time. Friendship, holy shit! If it didn't have the Conor O'Malley scene in, it would be like bottom 10 of the year for me.
The drug scene, Leon.
The drug scene isn't funny.
It is funny. What are you talking about?
I laughed at the Conor O'Malley scene, and the rest of the film was like torture for me. I have like such an aversion to Tim Robinson. I think he's like the most like painful, and not in a funny way, like comedian.
I'm not a huge fan either. Like that stuff was a little like not as funny for me. It was more the Paul Rudd stuff and the kind of just weirdo. Like, yes, the Conor O'Malley bits, the kind of surreal bits in the film that I liked, but
that's fair. I love Conor O'Malley. It's really funny how Paul Rudd's been mentioned in the last 2 movies we've just discussed, Death of a Unicorn and Friendship.
It's true. I didn't even really mention Paul Rudd in Death of a Unicorn, but
he's in it because
he's not bad in it per se.
I'm trying to see. I didn't think Snow White was like the dumpster fire that everyone thought it was, but I did think it was pretty poor. I just think people are way too mean to Rachel Zegler. She's doing her best, and there is a sequence where they go down into a cave and you see a skeleton, and it's like a practical skeleton. And films deserve points if they have skeletons, I think. So just I got to say that.
But he also mentions, he's mentioned this Paul Rudd detail. So Friendship, Death of Unicorn, Anaconda. Did you see Anaconda yet?
No. Why would
Leon, you watch so much shit. You can't just go, no, I'm above that. I wouldn't see that.
Listen. I watch shit. But after watching so many bad films this year, my tolerance for shit stops. Like it stopped. What's the newest addition to this? Okay, I watched a really bad film that made the list, but after watching so many awful films, the prospect of watching a meta-ironic remake reboot of a film I've never seen, starring Jack fucking Black and Paul Rudd, sounds horrible.
Yeah.
From the director of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I
forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought Unbearable Weight was whatever. It was fine. But the meta comedy angle with a fucking Jack Black film after Minecraft and everything, and just this train just this series of just awful Jack Black films.
Yeah.
And awful Paul Rudd films. I don't have it in me. I want to avoid Anaconda. But if it hits digital before the end of the month, I'll watch it with you for January.
Fair enough. Well, that was my number 10. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is another really great film. It's one that I know you haven't seen yet, and you really got to get around to seeing it soon. That is The Strangers Chapter 2, directed by our goat Rennie Harlan.
I
One
can't
of the
believe we haven't watched this together yet.
we will
I've been waiting for like to be able to watch it together. That's why I haven't seen it, but we haven't gotten around to it.
we'll watch it soon. We'll watch it sometime. Maybe the favorite discoveries when we do that Netflix stream, we'll have seen it by then, so you can briefly share your thoughts on it. I'll try and be vague. I don't want to spoil too much for you because obviously I know you're really invested in the Baghead saga. But yeah, no, The Strangers. A quick overview on the franchise, in my opinion. The first film is like one of the worst horror films I've ever seen. Pray at Night is great and
It's
super
fun. Pray at
underrated.
Night's really fun. If you're
It's a
a horror
great
fan, a
film.
giallo appreciator, definitely check out Strangers
It's
Pray at Night.
just it really gets that like 80s slasher vibe. It's got fun characters, a really breakneck pace to it. The kills are usually a little unorthodox, and even though it does the oh hey we're referencing this film and that film, it's like a really like obvious like Texas Chainsaw riff. Like I don't mind it so much because the film's so fun and it's like very breezy. It's not just like bogged down with oh yeah here's like a 2 hour film where we're just referencing horror stuff. Fun time. Also, that guy's directing Primate, which comes out, the monkey movie. I'm very excited. And then Strangers Chapter 1. I think it's better than the first film, like by a bit. It's not great, and I know you didn't really care for it at all, which is totally fine.
I thought it was worse than the first one, but you know
You can't say that about
it's
our
got a
goat
couple
Rennie
funny
Harlan.
moments, I guess, but yeah.
I mean, the great stuff about she's vegan, so he has to drive all the way out so he can get her a vegan burger because she doesn't eat meat. And then there's the really great scene where he has an inhaler and he's like, I can't breathe, I've lost my inhaler. Like, just creating these like setups for really stupid horror. I find it fun bad more so than good, but the first film it's watchable. I think it's watchable, it's just a bit dull. The second film, though, is not really doing the, oh yeah, we're just going to remake the first film again. The second film is like, okay, we're going to remake the original Halloween 2 for like 20 minutes. And then we're going to turn into The Revenant for a little bit. And then we're going to turn into an origin story about all of the killers because if you didn't know, The Strangers, the real horror of that film for most people is the fact that you don't know who these people are. They're doing this completely at random just because they want to. So what do we need? A fucking origin story. That's exactly what we need. We need to make The Strangers familiar. We need to know who they are. We don't need the mystery and intrigue. Like people complain about like Rob Zombie's Halloween for ruining the
Yeah.
mystique of Michael Myers, but Jesus Christ, at least they had ideas other than the few things that are executed in this film, I'll say. It contains one of like single-handedly the worst visual effects I've ever seen in a motion picture, and I was stunned watching this in the cinema. Like I was watching this on a big huge screen and I was like, this can't be real. This cannot be real. It's one of the greatest like bad visual effects I've ever seen. The sequel tease is really funny, and also for a film that's like 90 to 100 minutes long, it feels like it's 2.5 hours long. There's no sense of pace to it whatsoever. It is essentially like you're watching like a 90-minute chase movie where for the most part nothing's happening during the chase. It's just a woman sneaking around and oh she's got to be careful so the people don't find her. That's it. It is really atrocious. It has one of my favorite taglines of 2025 with land of the free, home of the strange.
The first one also had this weird like air of trying to do like political commentary with like some of the like when they go into the diner and they have that sort of like redneck family like sort of chastise them a little bit kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Does this have that? Does this sort of continue with that sort of like the
There's like
tagline sounds
elements
very
like
politically tinged?
not really. It's just
Okay.
like you're introduced to in the first film. You see Richard Brake's like cop character. He's in this movie for a bit. That scene in the first film only exists so we can introduce cop characters that exist in the second film. And I think there's like a lady who works at the diner who's also back for this second chapter. But most of it is just, oh, we're gonna just really have the most drawn out chase sequence of all time, which in concept isn't even a bad idea. It's just the execution. I think the lead actress, her name's Madeline something. I think she was on Riverdale. I've never seen that show, but I know she's trying her best. There are points in the film where like I actively felt bad for her, not for the character, just for I'm like, you're really really trying here. So like if I had to give the film any credit, it's at least she's committed, and I still feel that way about the first film too. Like I didn't think she was bad in the first film. I just think she's working with like a really really like unremarkable script and bad direction from the goat Reddy Harlan. But yeah, I she's fine in it, I guess. It has one of the funnier endings of the year, which I won't spoil, but you'll get a real kick out of
I'm
that
excited.
one.
I'm excited to get around to this.
Yeah,
And do we
strangest
know when
chapter.
the third one's coming out? If they already shot
Oh,
it, or
they shot all three at the same time. The third one comes out next month, I think.
Jesus Christ,
I'm not. Let me go check. I'm gonna go
it'll be
double
like
check.
back to back to back,
Yeah, they filmed
or
all
worst of
three
the
back.
year list.
Yeah, I think so. So let's see. So the third film comes out. Uh, oh my god, it comes out in just over a month.
Yeah,
So it has.
wow.
Oh, you're gonna love this. So it only has 5 countries that are currently like scheduled for a theatrical release. So on the 6th of February, it releases in the UK, the US, and South Africa. But on the 5th of February, a day earlier, 2 countries get it. So Australia gets it. It makes sense given the time zones. They get
Okay,
it a day
yeah.
earlier. But the first film on this list, and you can check the letterbox listing for releases if you want, the country that gets the first
Oh
look at
no,
Strangers
I think I
Chapter
know.
2, it's Israel!
Oh God, that
I am
is.
so happy for you guys. Any people watching from Israel right now, please enjoy the Strangest Chapter 3 on release
Hi
day.
Quentin. Hi Eli Roth. Thank you for watching the stream.
You guys are so lucky right now.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
that was
incredible. I'm
that was
very.
great.
What's your number 9?
Did you mention this in your honorable mentions? It's a Minecraft movie.
Yeah. That
Okay,
was an honorable mention.
okay. Yeah. I can kind of echo some of the sentiment around why you didn't see Anaconda. That is Jack
Yeah.
Black is in this, and you know what? I'm gonna defend him a little bit. I know this is my number 9 worst of the year movie, but I gotta say, like, this happened with the Mario movie, and now this, where every couple of years a studio constructs like the most cynical like product placement like cash grab thing ever, where all they do is market a movie based on nostalgia and IP. And they know they have a guaranteed number of people that are gonna go see the movie anyway. It does incredibly well. I think the Mario movie made like $800 million. This made something similar.
It was pretty close to $1 billion. Like
Yeah,
it was like a couple million off making $1 billion.
exactly. And there's really not much to that movie. Like it's there's just not a lot going on there. But Jack Black is trying as Bowser. He's putting in a performance. He's trying to make it a little goofy and be a little weird with it. And I think the same thing is true here. It's just it doesn't work quite as well because it's in live action and Jason Momoa is also there, and it also is just like, I don't know. The other thing is there's not really a story to Minecraft as well, so any kind of thing that they could come up with is just this generic cynical sort of like it's not too far off from like the Jumanji remake or something like that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know, it was just really garish to look at, like trying to bring that video game, which is based on like low quality graphics, to like the big screen and make it this like big like blockbuster event. again, it was just nothing to me. It just reeked of like everything that's wrong with movies now, with cynicism and just trying to get the easiest cash grab possible. That yeah, I went away from it with a bad taste in my mouth. But again, I'll defend Jack Black a little bit because I thought he kind of tried to make it fun, and I'm always going to appreciate that, even if his brand of comedy is not mine. It's kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I'll that's what I'll go with for that one. Yeah.
I really like when the cast of characters goes into the portal where they see the Minecraft world for the first time, and the big lady, she comes in and then she falls over and she lands on her butt and she goes, "Ah, my butt." I thought that was really funny. I
So
don't.
funny.
I
So
really
funny.
like when Jack Black does the like funny little songs that last for like 20 seconds and he's like, "Oh, it's random and funny," and he'll just sing and it's like, "Oh, I didn't expect that." Jack, you
Yeah.
really outdone yourself there. He's
I don't
singing.
know if
He's
I.
making a comedy
Yeah.
song. It's really funny. I'm
This is
sorry.
random. I don't know if I ever asked you about this, but have you seen School of Rock? And if so, what do you think about it?
Oh, right. Unironically, I fucking love School of Rock.
Okay,
Like,
just checking.
School of
Just
Rock
checking.
is incredible, but like that was like a discovery of as a child, and then I've grown to appreciate it even more because good old Dick Linklater's behind it, and I'm like, he's a good filmmaker, and there's just this sense of like I don't know, there's a sense of passion between the direction between Jack and between the writer Mike White, who went on to like make The White Lotus and everything. Like there's something there where, like you described with the Minecraft movie, Jack is doing it for the paycheck, and like Jason's just so phoned out. Like he's kind of trying sometimes, but it really falls flat. Jared
Right.
Hess is just being Jared Hess. He's a fucking weird filmmaker. If you've seen Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre or Gentleman Broncos, I've got to shout that one out. He just makes really, really weird films. He has a very strange sense of humor. I don't know why they picked him to make like one of the biggest blockbusters of the year. Again, it's really, really garish to look at, and in a ways where I can defend Jack in something like School of Rock for like being outlandish and coming up with the silly songs and all of that stuff. Like, at least he has a character there, other than
Yeah.
I am Guy. I like to invent. I am now in Minecraft world. I sing the funny lava chicken song.
Yeah.
Like that.
And if
It's
nothing
just.
else, too, it did give us like among like some of the most interesting videos like in a theater this
Oh
year.
my god.
The obnoxious like people bringing chickens into the theater and like throwing
Mm.
popcorn everywhere and like bad for movie theaters, but you know, it's hard for me to call you like the worst movie of the year if you provide some entertainment value that way. So
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. So
Whew.
that's anyway. That's my number 9. Don't have a ton to say about it, but yeah.
I
What's
I just
yeah.
realized my list is so populated with horror this year. It's kind of
Oh shit.
unfortunate.
Oh, that's
Um,
unfortunate.
Eighth place for me is Fear Street Prom Queen, a film that most
Oh
people
yeah.
forgot even came out this year. So I watched the very first Fear Street movie when they released it a couple of years ago. Similar to The Strangers, I think they filmed 3 movies back to back and released them like a week apart. I never saw the second or third film because I just didn't care for the first one, but I heard this was standalone, and it also had some actors who I quite like in. Like I've got to go remember the name, but she's the girl from Red Rocket, the really, really good.
Oh, Susanna Sun.
Yeah, Susanna
Yeah.
Son's in it. Lily Taylor's in it from like The Addiction and The Conjuring. There's also Catherine Waterston, who I really like. She's in Inherent Vice. She's in Alien Covenant. She's in Mid-90s. And
Good
I
for
was
them
just
for
like,
getting a bag. You know, that's
yeah, like I was like, okay, so this seems interesting. This seems like, oh yeah, this is going to be pretty. Like at least there's a good cast behind it, and maybe the team have learned something from those like dull movies they made before. No, it's a really, really, really bad horror riff that has. It feels like it's missing 30 minutes of footage because there's no real like semblance of like structure or time to what's going on. The kills are really, really bad, which again, like that's more just me nitpicking as a horror fan, but like they're just very underwhelming, bland, and they don't offer anything interesting whatsoever. The characterization is just terrible. It has reveals, twists, and turns which you can see coming from literally the very first and second scenes of the film. And even though it's only like 90 minutes long, like I'm checking, oh yeah, it's 90 minutes on the dot. It's just not paced extremely well. Like it's not as egregiously like paced as something like The Monkey or The Strangers Chapter 2. But I think it's just more offensive because there's nothing I can really latch onto here to say, oh yeah, this is worth checking out. At least like the lead actress in The Strangers Chapter 2 is she's trying. Like that actress, she's trying, and in The Monkey, I mean, hey, at least fuck, that one's a bit harder actually. At least I like the guy who plays Corey Cunningham. He's got like the wig where the hair's all over his eyes. That's kind
Yeah.
of a funny concept for a character. But no, Fear Street Prom Queen is just like one of the worst horror movies of the decade, I'd say. Really bad. There is absolutely no reason to watch it. Like even if like you were like planning something like a Samurai January list, it's like it's so boring that like I think you'd give it a 1 star purely out of boredom more so than anything else. Really bad. I kind of forgot it existed until I was going through what are some of the worst movies from this year, and I was like,
Yeah. Is Susanna Sun like bad in it, or
she's not very good at it. She's like a side character, and she's barely in the movie from what I remember. Like she doesn't have.
She's so good in Red Rocket. Like you would never
Yeah.
know it was like her first performance, you know?
Oh yeah, no, she's great in Red Rocket. I hope she gets some better roles soon because I mean the two that I can think of post Red Rocket are Fear Street Prom Queen and Sam Levinson's The Idol.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too. Yeah.
Yay. But that's my number 8. What's your number 8?
I need to check because I've forgotten. This is how much more passionate I am about my best of the year than worst of the year. But I have one actually here that I think could be a little controversial for some folks, because I definitely have seen this on some folks' best of the year, which is Materialists by Celine Song. So I know, Leon, you were like mid on Past Lives, right?
I thought Past Lives was good. I just didn't really have that overwhelming love for it that most people did. Like, it's a solid 3 stars with a like, maybe like close to a 7, where I'm like, I understand the technical element. I appreciate and admire the technical elements. I think it's a really well directed film. The 2 lead performances are really, really solid. I just wasn't really connected to it overall, and I felt that out of the 2 movies we got that year centered around, or like within that 12 months, centered around relationship dynamics from both the writer and director of that film, I thought Challengers did everything that film does, but way more effectively and more engagingly. Although I know it's a weird 2 films to compare, but I know they're both from like wife husband. Like
they are both kind of like love triangle things, and like it's like there are reasons to compare them for sure. I do think they're quite different tones, obviously.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I understand that. I personally really connected to it just in part because like I saw it with my now wife, like when we were engaged, and we had a long conversation afterward about like, you know, kind of emotions that we had felt throughout our lives, like early on in our relationship when we weren't, you know, 100%, you know, sure about where we were going and like things we felt for other people. And it was one of the most vulnerable like conversations I think we've had together. And I think the film deals with that subject matter in like a really nuanced way and looks really good performances. So from the opening, I was interested in Materialists. I didn't think the trailers looked very good, but you know, I was kind of open to it. And when I saw like the first opening bit where it opens, it's set like 2,000 years ago in like caveman times, and it just has this very simple image of a male caveman giving a cave woman a ring, or a flower in the shape of a ring, and that's the opening. I'm like, and it's basically saying from the very beginning of time, humans have been interested in material purposes for relationships, and you're like, okay, so that's the kind of movie we're in for. And it kind of continues to throughout like have, I don't know, it's kind of going for, I was a little confused like what it was trying to do at times, because there are things in it that are so silly that you're like, this could only be in like a very kind of unsubtle satire, like the whole bit with Pedro Pascal being so insecure about himself that he decides about his height and everything that he gets surgery
Spoiler
to.
alert!
I don't give a shit. We're months later. I will kind of spoil this, but he gets surgery to become like a few inches taller or whatever. Like they add stuff to his bones and stuff. Like the fact that they actually put that into the movie, but it's like a legitimate like dramatic point to focus on. Like it's not actually played as a joke. There's also a bit at some one point in the film. I won't totally spoil what happens with this because I think it's a little more important. But there's a so Dakota Johnson plays a matchmaker essentially, and one of her clients has a very bad experience on one of her dates, and she goes up to her and they have this sort of conversation, and it's very emotionally intense. And then the client ends the conversation by calling Dakota Johnson a pimp. Like she just goes pimp, and I was like, what? Like there were so many bits where I was like, okay, this is like either a real idea or a dramatic beat you could try to achieve, and you like sincerely play this as the biggest joke you could come up with. So I was really baffled by this, and it didn't work at all for me. I kind of understand liking Chris Evans in it, because I think that his character is kind of the emotional weight to the movie to an extent. But I also don't think that what they do with his character and Dakota Johnson's character is anything like super interesting or like worth praising necessarily. I do think that there are kind of I don't love the way that arc like concludes for them, but I think he is giving a pretty good performance. So
yeah,
I guess he's like the one bright spot for me.
That's the only thing I have to really compliment about the film. I saw the film when it hit theaters here like a month or two after the States. It's a Sony movie over here for some reason. I don't know why. They picked up that and your other favorite, Bring Her Back, from A24 this year. So
Bring Her Back is much better than
A24.
I must say.
Say that again, sorry.
Oh, just say Bring Her Back is much better than Materialist. I gotta say.
No, Materialist is just a really bewildering, very smug and not very insightful motion picture. Like it feels like it has a lot to say, but it's just it's very broad, it's very bland, it's very generic, it's poorly directed, it has some really awful performances from Dakota Johnson and Pedro Pascal. Like I think they're both pretty bad in the movie.
Yeah.
Screenplay is really bad, but no, Chris Evans. I got to give him credit this year. Like Chris Evans, since like 2019, has been on like the hot streak of dog shit. Like he's in like Ghosted, Deadpool and Wolverine,
The Gray Man,
Red One, The Gray Man.
Yeah.
He's in fuck, what else was he in? He was in some other stuff that was just really Lightyear, I heard was really bad. Just like slop, basically. Like he was just starring in slop, didn't really like have any interesting stuff on his agenda. And then this year he's a Materialist, which is bad, but at least it's not like Marvel slop. Like I'll give him credit for that. It's not Red One. It's not just like really bad blockbuster shit. And he's trying his best, I will say. And then also Honey Don't, the second film in the Coens lesbian B movie trilogy.
I was sad I missed that. I need to check that out. Yeah, because I did really like Drive-Away Dolls. So
yeah, it's a step down from Drive-Away Dolls, but I thought it was okay. He's pretty fun in it. He's having fun with the like kind of ludicrous character he's playing. Maybe we'll watch it at some point. Maybe that could just
I'd be down for that.
Point.
Yeah,
but no, I like him quite a bit in Materialists. Again, I agree that they don't really do much with his character, but there's just something nice to see. There's just something nice about seeing Chris Evans actually act for the first time in forever, like where he seems to really be into a role instead of just on autopilot snoring through the fact that he's saying epic holy shit balls in Deadpool and Wolverine or
Yeah.
something. Like, it's just nice to see him with a filmmaker on a real location making a real film, which for most other actors, that's not really something you want to praise. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
good job, Chris. You got out of the blue screens and green
Yeah.
screens. That's
I understand that. I want to, at least, especially for somebody like Celine Song, who made a film I really like. I want to try and hold her to a higher standard than that.
oh,
I know Chris
100%.
Evans, sure, but I was baffled after making something as good as Past Lives how bad this one was. So
Well,
um,
it's
it's
okay though, because Chris Evans has learnt really well from this year, because his next upcoming project is Avengers Doomsday.
oh god, oh
Yeah, I can't wait. More Marvel stuff. Woo!
yeah.
Uh, but
But yeah,
yeah,
that was my number 8. Real quick before you mention your number 7, just want to say if anybody else in the comments just wants to mention like any other films that are featuring for you as among some of your worst of the year, or any other thoughts you have, just let us know. But
no.
what's your number 7, Leon?
Oh, my number 7. I just watched my number 7. And this is a very, very new. This is like I don't know how long we've been streaming, like an hour maybe. I watched this like an hour and 5 minutes ago. That's how like new this is. And that is Five Nights at Freddy's
Oh, that's
2.
right. Yep.
Holy shit. Yeah, no, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is something that so, my history, I'm not really like a fan of the video games, but I found like spending time with my sister watching the kind of lore breakdowns around the time the video game came out. She was really young, super into it. I found it fun as kind of like a brother sister bonding moment, spending time with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, there's, even though the game is very simple, just kind of point and click, like,
Yeah.
don't get captured. There's interesting lore behind the games where I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You could probably do something with this.
And
I
even the
think,
thrills of it are like fine. I mean, it's very basic jump scare mechanics, right? But like
yeah.
I remember like I would play it at like in between rounds. I was a debate kid in high school, and whenever I would go to tournaments, like sometimes I had a couple people on my team that would like want to play it like between rounds and stuff. And it was definitely one of the lamer things we would do between rounds, but it was still like, there was entertainment value there,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
like 100%. Like it's
Yeah.
something that's very like it's almost tailor made to I don't know. You can craft something interesting with that lore, make a film, and like all the first film really had to do, and I think the first film's fine, but all it really had to do is just recreate the concept of the video games, have some fun jump scares, entertain the kids, and what the first film ended up doing is it kind of doesn't really have many jump scares, which like for Five Nights at Freddy's, you feel like that's kind of the bread and butter of it. Like, not that I crave films to have jump scares constantly, but it just seems tailor made for that given the like source material. And then it kind of peters off into a different direction where it's like, oh, we're focusing on trauma and guilt and stuff like that. And like in the first film, I think it's serviceable. Like I have an okay time with it. I think the animatronics are really, really great because they're created by Jim Henson's Creature Workshop. So like you've got like really great like practical stuff, and there's not a whole deal of like bad like CGI in that first movie. And it's just perfect like Five Nights at Freddy's fodder with like fan stuff in there. It's watchable. I've seen it a
Okay.
few times, it's watchable. Second film, I was like, okay, I'll go see this. I thought the first was fine. And then the reviews dropped, and it's like 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, this is like worse in every way. And I was like, do I really need to go and see this one on the big screen? I wait for it to hit digital, and yeah, me and my sister double featured the first film and the new film back to back, and holy shit! Every complaint people have about that first film, I used to pass off as like, oh no, they're just being a bit too harsh. I completely got it this time. It is like a near, like insufferable motion picture that like if I had like a clear head and this wasn't so abrupt from when we just did this list, there's a good chance this would actually crack a higher spot on the list. It's a film that advertises itself as a continuation of this film, of this like story that's going on, and then sidetracks everything that the first film set up so it can basically be member berries for video games, to the point where like my sister was viewing it under a completely different lens. She's like played like a bunch of the games. She's watched like tens of hours of like lore breakdowns. She knows everything, so she's like, oh, that's the creature from the fifth game. Oh, that's that thing I like. And it's like, if you want that, that's totally fine. Like, I get that for fans, and like, it was cool for her and everything. But like, for me, where I have a disconnect outside of that first game, I don't really know much of the lore. It barely works as a feature film because there's no explanation for any of this stuff, where even in something like a Deadpool and Wolverine, one of my other favorite worst films ever made, when they're bringing up references of like, oh, hey, it's Blade, hey, it's this character or something, at least if you haven't seen the films, there's kind of like, you haven't seen Blade or something, you know who that is because of iconography. You know who that is because there'll be a short sequence where they'll be like, I'm Blade or something. But in this, they'll just dump things from these video games and they'll just be like, okay, it's that thing that the fans know. And out of context, you're just like, what the fuck is happening? There's no structure to it. The villain has one scene in the movie outside of his reveal of he's the villain. There is one sequence with this guy, and he's the big bad of the film, apparently. I don't know if you're familiar, but in the first film they have Matthew Lillard, who
Mhm.
he's kind of like an antagonistic figure that's being teased. He was all over the marketing for this one, doing the press run and everything. I didn't count second by second, but I would be very surprised if he's on screen for longer than 45 seconds in this film. He
Oh God.
precisely has the opening 10 seconds of him, and then there is a Nightmare on Elm Street style dream sequence that's really bad where he's there. He's not in any of the rest of the film, but he's like credited as like one of the main characters. It looks really ugly, focuses way more on CGI this time, having big like high stakes action and stuff, which doesn't work. The horror's really bad, and even from a fan's perspective, like my sister's, there are decisions they make that kind of completely butcher that source material, and she even found it annoying. So, like, even though there were moments where she was like, "Oh, it's that thing," and I really like seeing this thing from the video game brought to life on the big screen, she was even disappointed by it because it's just not scary, it's not fun. I feel like this is like a reoccurring theme with my film, but it's a total my list, but it's a total slog. Like, it feels way longer than I think it's like an hour and 45 minutes or something. It feels so much longer than that. It has a terrible, terrible ending. Like, it's like a final shot that's so bad that I was like, okay, you're gonna show us a real ending now, right? But no, they don't. There's two sequel teasers in the credits. There's a post-credit scene, and then there's another thing after that, which just means we're gonna have to endure more of this fucking shit in like 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight is in the movie, like the Seinfeld, no, the like Jurassic World guy and a Jurassic Park guy
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wayne Knight, love Wayne Knight. He's
Newman
just
from
awful.
Seinfeld. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Newman, and he's just really bad in this. He just plays a dickhead science teacher who's mean to children, and that's it. Like, and it sounds like, oh, that could be kind of fun, but they do nothing with his character. It's just, oh, he
Yeah.
exists so we can get a kill, like,
If
because
they wanted to take these movies in the Pizzagate conspiracy thriller direction, I think he could be a good cast for that. Casting decision for that, but it doesn't sound like that's what they do.
No, absolutely not. And then to make things all the more worse, that just like irritated me on a like out of like context, like out of the film universe level. For some reason, there's a cameo appearance from Skeet Ulrich because, oh, dude, he was in Scream and Matthew Lillard's in Scream, so we gotta have both of the Scream guys in the fuck off. Like, like fuck off. Like, it's so pandering to horror fans, and
Yeah.
like, you don't even have Matthew Lillard in your movie really, and it's just like, oh, hey, it's the thing you recognize. Like the more I'm watching this, the more I'm talking about this, even the more it annoys me. I really didn't like this film. I thought this stunk, and again, if you follow me on Letterboxd, just keep your eyes on my list because I could imagine this going even like higher in the next few days after like reflecting on it. Dire, really bad filmmaking. Jason Blum, do better, do better. What's your number 6? No,
Or
seven,
I think
seven,
7, yeah, because we were doing,
seven.
yeah, that's
Yes.
right. It is one that I have a feeling you have on your list. If by some reason it's your number 6, we could do it together.
I think it is. Is it also Blumhouse production?
It is. It Megan 2.0.
Yes,
Hell
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, we two birds with one stone. So
Oh god.
yeah, the sequel to Megan, the like sort of AI sort of spin on the Child's Play movies kind of thing, which came out a few years ago, which I thought was pretty good. I ended up enjoying the kind of set up, the commentary that they do around that, the sort of riff on a Child's Play with the modern AI landscape. My only complaint with it, the same complaint that I think a lot of people had with it, was that I wish it was more violent. The Child's Play movies paid that off really well, and this just was very like Blumhouse, like PG-13 kind of clean horror, which didn't entirely work for me. And then I remember seeing the trailer for Megan 2, and particularly the line "Hold on to your vaginas," which is potentially one of the worst trailers I've ever seen for a movie. So I
Oh,
did.
is that also the trailer that has like the tagline "The bitch is back"
The
or
bitch is bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
shit like that?
And
Yeah.
so I did not see it in theaters. I did kind of hold on to maybe some hope that it could be like kind of fun schlocky, but man, this is one of the laziest sequels I think I've ever seen to something that was actually okay. So it's essentially, with the whole like AI robot stuff that they do in the first movie, where that's more riffing on a Child's Play. This is not riffing, completely ripping off Terminator 2. This is beat for beat, like from just like the sort of more like modern, like the robot like returning and everything. Like it's exactly Terminator 2. And I kind of couldn't believe what I was watching for most of it. The action scenes that they do are dog shit. They're entirely filmed on a green screen. There's no kind of weight to anything. There's no they don't even try to do the same kind of like character work that they did in the first movie, where you try to like care about this orphan that's ended up in this very incapable aunt's like hand and everything. It's just like a step down in every level. I don't have a ton more to say about it, but man, I was blown away by how bad it was.
Basically how I felt. I felt like it was arguably like there's maybe only 2 other movies like from my top 5 that I would say are even remotely as boring as this is. Like the other my top 5, most of them are really just like comically bad in ways where I have so much to say about them. But this one, it's just such a slog. And I feel like, again, that's just kind of been a lot of my like 10 to 6. It's just very much like The Monkey feels way longer than it is. Strangers Chapter 2 feels way longer than it is. The Fear Street
How long is Megan 2? I feel like it's
Oh, it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours long.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's 2 hours long, and it does not need to be 2 hours long. It completely misses the mark. And yes,
the first Megan, by the way, hour 40 minutes. So
the first film's an hour and 40 minutes. I rewatched it before the second one. I wasn't as hot on it, but I didn't think it was like the worst thing ever. It's just not for me, but it's like it's fine. The first film. I actually will say the unrated cut of that first film is worse than the original, in my opinion. I just think it doesn't work as well, and like a lot of the added like gore is just CG blood, and it doesn't really improve anything. So if you've seen Megan and you're like, oh, I want to rewatch it, just stick to the theatrical version. The unrated one is worse. But no, Megan 2, 2.0, sorry. It's just like, oh, James Cameron made a horror film and then he made an action film. We're going to do that. Like you said, there's no original bones in its body, even when it is trying to do things with like some of the action sequences and it's got like the camera spinning. I'm like, Yeah, I like James Wan as well. Like, come up with something original, Jesus Christ. No,
Yeah.
Alison Williams, I think her name is, who's from the first film. She's fine in the first film as kind of the aunt character. She's got nothing to do in here.
Oh yeah.
She's the kid actor has nothing to do in here. The villains are just like paper thin.
Yeah, because
Trying
so for people that don't know, they have like a villain, like a new AI robot. I think Amelia is her name. I had to look, but
something like that.
it's
Yeah.
exact. It's like it's the T-1000 from Terminator 2. It's the exact same fucking thing.
Hmm.
Where
Yeah,
Megan is
and
now like helping them, and yeah,
And another thing that I had an issue with, but like initially wasn't something that I was like too concerned about. Our friend Brady brought it up for that first trailer, but like I really do have to agree after seeing the movie, and it's like really weird to say, um, but it feels like the film is really, really, really trying to pander to like the LGBTQ community in a way where, like, with the marketing of like, oh yeah, because like in the first film, I don't know if you remember, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, she does the funny dance and everything, and I
yeah,
don't know if you remember the marketing for Megan 2.0, where it was like she was like protect the dolls, and it was like very like, oh, we're gonna the bitch is back, and like hold on to your vaginas. Like it feels like it's
yeah,
trying to be camp and it's trying to be like queer coded, but it
yeah,
never feels like that in the film. It feels like that was a marketing gimmick to be like, okay, we're gonna bring the gays in
yeah.
essentially, and I'm like,
But you have
there's
to be like
nothing.
anti-establishment for that to work. This movie is like
Yeah,
just like another movie that I'm going to talk about later. This could just very well be an ad for Amazon at a certain point.
yeah,
It's
no,
the
absolutely.
character's use of technology to solve the problem and everything. So,
Yeah, like it wants to have like the John Waters effect of like we're gonna be a very like open like film, but like queer people can really enjoy it. And then you watch the film and you're like, no, this is just a dog shit remake of Terminator 2 with like the odd line for trailers where it makes it look campier and like gayer, I guess. And
yeah,
like I found that just like kind of just like almost like borderline offensive, just like targeted because like there was so much like she did her letterbox top four and they were like queer movies and stuff like that, and like
right. Yeah,
Megan the character did, and I'm just like. If this is really what you're gonna do, because I'm not someone everybody who knows me knows I am not someone who's gonna complain that a film is fucking woke, but this film wants to be
yeah.
like branded that way,
I'll
even though
complain
the
about it
content.
if I think it's trying to do that for like insincerity, like if it's just trying to,
No,
sort of
that's how I felt.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
moralize, or it's where it's not like it doesn't have genuine ideas, right?
yeah.
You know, I no, I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like in the same way that when I was talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm like, that second film entirely is also just pandering, but it's
Yeah,
pandering to fans of that franchise, where it's like we're gonna like completely ignore what it takes to craft a movie with free acts and interesting characters and interesting horror set pieces, just to throw things in your face and be like, hey, it's a thing you recognize. And then in Megan 2.0, all the marketing was just, isn't Megan so gay, and it isn't, and I'm like, that's got nothing to do with the film itself. It's just like it's this really, really bad, hollow attempt at trying to get more like butts in the theater, and it just comes off as like really offensive to the crowd that you're trying to like advertise to, basically, because you're
yeah,
basically taking the like notion of like camp cinema and everything, where the first film had people who would say, "Oh, it's kind of campy because of how Megan would act," and it's like you're doubling down into that, but there's no real sincerity behind it. It's like again, it's like I don't know, fucking Eli Roth trying to make a John Waters movie. It's like yeah, he could make a film where like, cause no, like he's done that. Like he's
yeah,
done things where like there's characters in like the Green Inferno who will like take a shit or in front of somebody or something, and I'm like, yeah, no, stuff like that happens in a John Waters film, but it's not like it's crass and vulgar, and I'm like, oh, that's disgusting, and like at least there's like just this like DIY spirit to it instead of like trying to provoke you in like an Eli Roth
yeah,
film would. And
yeah,
in Megan 2.0, it exists purely to pander, and I just
yeah.
find that kind of tasteless.
So what you're saying is Megan 2.0, it's an Eli Roth movie.
That's barring Thanksgiving, yeah,
No,
pretty
that's too
much.
kind. That's too kind for sure, for sure.
But
Um,
yeah, that was also my number six.
okay,
Perfect, perfect.
so I guess
Um,
we did my number seven. It was my number seven and your number six, so I could do my number six.
that was your number six, right?
No, it was my number seven.
Oh, okay, yeah. You go next. You go
Okay,
next.
okay. So I'm wondering if this is going to be on your list or maybe your number five. We'll see. We'll see. Flight Risk.
Oh, dude, that's my number 5.
That is. I I was wondering. Okay. Damn, we're matching up. Okay.
We are.
Um. So yeah. Maybe if you want to do this one first,
Oh,
just because
sure.
I sort of did the intro. Yeah. Last one. So.
Morally good individual Mel Gibson returns to the directing scene after what, like 9 years? Like Hacksaw Ridge was 2016, right? Maybe 2017. His first film he
Yeah.
directed in like 8 or 9 years, and
Which
it's a
Hacksaw Ridge was very well received for the most part. Yeah.
yes. Like it had like a awards buzz and everything. I think some nominations here and
Yeah.
there. And then, I mean, I'm just gonna read the text from the poster I have on Letterbox for this. He went from Academy Award nominated films, and even if I think it like shit like Passion of a Christ is dog shit or like Braveheart is bad, at least they have their audiences, bring in money, and like there's a target audience for those. When the marketing for this film has quotes from people from MovieWeb who state that in this movie, Mark Wahlberg goes beast mode. That's
If
one of
by
the
beast
quotes.
mode you mean like where's the worst toupee to ever exist? It's not. There's
Oh,
not even a toupee. I think he shaves his head to look like a bald man.
oh yeah, no, he shaved his head, but it looks fake in the movie. It looks like he's wearing a
Yeah.
bowler cap.
Yeah.
Really bad like direct to video feeling single location thriller with Mark Wahlberg, lady I can't remember the name of, and Venom. What's his name? Not Tom
Topher
Hardy.
Grace.
Topher Grace is giving a really bad, like almost again. I feel like this is a reoccurring thing in when we like shit on movies, but like a very like Deadpool coded character where he's like, "Holy shit, I'm making a taco, I'm making a burrito, and they've just stormed in on me," and I'm like, "Fuck off!" Like it's just like I don't know if you remember really early on, like that's his introductionary scene. He's like in a like motel or something, creating like he's made a burrito, it's in the microwave or something, and then the cops raid him, and he's like, "Oh damn, I didn't even get to eat my burrito," and I'm like, I hate this already. I'm already
Yeah.
not liking this. I don't remember if you remember the AI deer that's in the opening like few frames of the movie as well. He looks out of his window and there's like a really bad AI deer.
I do not remember this.
Oh, it's really bad. Well, I'll try and clip it for you after the
Yeah.
stream. It's very funny. But yeah, no, he's embroiled in this thing, and he's getting sent from one location to another with police lady on a plane, and the driver, the flight guy, is Mark Wahlberg, and it turns out he's a bad guy. So you're spending like 90 minutes. In a really, really, really tight knit, closed location, with Mark Wahlberg overacting like hell,
Yeah.
putting really, really bad accents on.
And it's a
It's
tiny
insinuating.
plane as well. Like it
Oh, it's
is.
so
It's
tiny.
like smaller than the like in like Temple of Doom, like the one that they have, like where they then jump out on the raft and
Yeah.
everything. It's smaller than that, and then, like mostly takes place in the cockpit, and
Oh yeah.
so it just from a directing standpoint of like how much you can do, like changing up the shots, and there's very little to work with,
Oh yeah.
and
There's
your
nothing.
actors are Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace,
Oh
so.
yeah, yeah. Actors are Mark Wahlberg, Topher Grace, and the lady who we still don't remember the name of, but she
I
has
looked her
that.
up, but I've already forgotten. It
It's so good.
is Michelle Dockery, from like The Gentleman and Boy Kills World.
Oh,
Uh,
excellent fucking film.
Excellent films. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really atrocious. Mark Wahlberg's like a sex pest in the movie. He's just constantly like threatening to like do really nasty things to the protagonist. I don't know if you remember that. It was just like a really like weird kind of
Yeah.
like rapey vibes, which is never
Yeah.
fun. And like when the character's acting so over the top, and you're getting advertising, oh, he goes beast mode. You're like, oh, is this going to be like a fun performance? And then it's just like, oh no, he's threatening to assault her. That's comical, I guess. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mel Gibson. Yeah, but no. No, it's just like really atrocious. Whenever there's like exterior shots, it's got like the worst CGI plane I've ever seen in a motion picture. I could not
Yeah.
believe I was watching this. And then I remembered it was a January film, and I was like, damn, yeah, no, I can't actually believe I'm watching
Yeah.
this.
I found it
And
the other day. I was at Barnes and Noble. I found it on Blu-ray. Um, I
oh,
didn't buy it.
you should have burned
I should have.
it.
I should have burned my gift card to buy Flight Risk.
That's so terrible. No, it's just remarkably awful from a filmmaker who has been held in such high regard for so long. Like I haven't seen Apocalypto, which I've heard is quite good, but every Mel Gibson movie I've seen, I thought it ranges from perfectly acceptable. Like Hacksaw Ridge is a very watchable movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good, but it's watchable. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's filmed well here. It's like it's
Yeah.
whatever.
And
And
Braveheart
then
has like some watchable stuff in it. It's too long and too like boring and simple-minded to be like, you know,
yeah, like Braveheart is something I really don't vibe with. I just find
yeah, I don't
boring,
I don't
like
either.
very like phony and full of itself. Like it's
Yeah.
making something that's important, and then I'm like, this okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Passion of the Christ, like one of the worst films ever made.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Absolutely terrible. But I do think Flight Risk is worse than Passion of the Christ because at least the Passion of the Christ feels like a film production when this feels like I don't even like I said earlier, like it feels like direct to video or something. Like I'd say this feels like direct to Tubi, but we've watched direct to Tubi movies this year that are better than Flight Risk, so I can't
Oh
even
yeah.
use that as an insult. This is like the type of shit that you'd open Amazon Prime and it would be advertised as a Prime original, and you'd be like,
I
yeah,
think it is. Is it let me look it up real quick. Flight
probably on
Risk.
Prime, but it's not a Prime film. It's Lionsgate, I believe.
Oh, it's on Max. That's why. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah. It's streaming fodder. That's all it
Yes.
is. It's just something that's going to populate like a tab on Amazon or HBO Max or something like that. And I'm surprised we're even talking about it 12 months like after it came out
Yeah.
because nobody is like, oh yeah, I'm a Flight Risk truther. Like no, there's
Yeah.
nothing to like
Yeah.
I don't
We
know, there's
have
nothing to defend.
like we have had some controversial ones here and there. Like again, I mentioned Materialist. Like somebody could potentially, like that enough to put it on their like best of the year list, and things like that. But I don't think anyone's putting Flight Risk on like their top 10.
No.
Yeah.
And if you are, you've seen like 7 movies. And it's just like it's a bad because you didn't watch enough movies this year to even come up with a top 10. There's no other way it's making a best of list.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that was my number 5.
No, I don't have a lot to add. I think you pretty much said it.
Yeah.
So number 5, right?
That was my number 5. So what's your number 5?
Okay, my number 5. Hopefully we don't like sync up too much. Oh, I know we won't because I don't think you've seen this. This is a movie called Mountainhead, which is indeed a pun on the Ayn Rand book Fountainhead, which is another Samurai January classic I have to get around to at some point. But so this is I believe it's an HBO Max original. At least that's where I watched it. It stars. Let me see if I get this right. Steve Carell. Who else is in this? There's a fair amount of like. Jason Schwartzman is in this. Corey Michael Smith, Rama Youssef from like Poor Things and stuff. So there's a fair amount of like pretty cool actors in this, and they essentially all play a group of like tech billionaires who get together at this like Utah like mountain private house. Essentially, it's like this huge mansion where they're like skiing and doing all those sort of mountain activities, but they're like constantly on their phones and like talking to each other about the news and all the international crises that are getting worse as a result of like their social media algorithms. Because essentially, like one of them is more or less playing Elon Musk, and like one of them is Mark Zuckerberg. Like a lot of them are like running like tech billionaire social media algorithms kind of people, and it's that kind of commentary, and Yeah, so imagine the sort of like same like very lame like rich people suck, am I right? Like satire that we've been getting with like The Menu and Glass Onion and
Isn't
like
this written by the guy who made The Menu?
no, it's written by the guy who made Succession, which is part of why I knew I wouldn't like it. But the
Yeah.
but yeah, it's that kind of like commentary, but imagine that without any of the actual like genre like elements of what you go to that kind of movie for, like with like Glass Onion. Like it's nominally a murder mystery. The Menu is nominally a murder mystery, or like a thriller. There is none of that here. There's no like sinister elements. There's barely a plot at all. It is just like this. It's only like the stupid rich people satire, like dramatic bits in this remote location. And I imagine from how nice the location was and how kind of real it looked that like Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, they all just like pitched in a few bucks to like rent this like house together in Utah for the weekend and just like, hey, why don't we make a movie? And that kind of seemed like what it was to me because it's so bare bones. I couldn't believe it.
Sounds incredible.
It makes you want to watch it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I've got to watch this one. You've really sold me on it. From the creator of Succession, really
And
great
again, I think
social
it thinks
commentary.
it's smarter than it thinks it's smarter than it is, right? Because it's like again, it's the title is Mountainhead, like a pun on like the Fountainhead Ayn Rand thing, where like I'm pretty sure Steve Carell like keeps bringing up Ayn Rand throughout because he's like a libertarian, like techno industrialist kind of thing. Man, it's so fucking bad.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, Mountainhead.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
That's my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4. Okay, so this is the last, by far the most expensive film on my list, and one of just like again, I was saying before with Megan 2.0 that there's only really like 2 other movies I could say that are like really boring on my list, and this is arguably like the dullest movie on my list.
I wonder if
I
we have
just
the
think
same
there
one.
are. Yeah, is this also your number 4?
Maybe. What is it?
It's the Electric State.
That's my number 4.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay, we can share this one.
There's so much overlap
disclosure.
compared to our previous video.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of the same films. I'm fine with it though. Similar placements too. The Electric State is yet another astronomically, like just extraordinarily like over budget blockbuster from the worst filmmakers going, the Russo brothers, filmmakers without a real identity who started off in television, making stuff like shooting episodes for Arrested Development and Community, and then they make Captain America 2, and then people are like, hey, that's pretty good, so they make another one, and then they make 2 Avengers movies that are like some of the most popular things ever. And then after making like successful movie after successful movie, Netflix and Apple TV, like initially Apple TV with Cherry, and then Netflix ever since, have just been like, we're going to give you like 200, $300 million to just make whatever you want. And they've just decided to make like the most nothing motion pictures I have ever seen in my entire life. Cherry is just a completely bad like riff on like a Scorsese picture with Tom Holland. The Gray Man is a film that you couldn't pay me money to like recount elements from. Like if
Yep.
you tried to quiz me
And it was
you
my
were
worst
like,
film of 2022. I can't tell you like hardly anything about it.
yeah,
Well,
you couldn't tell. I couldn't tell you who the protagonist of that movie is, like his name or anything. I couldn't tell you like what the general plot of the movie is or anything. It's just it kind of like I watched it, I saw it for 2 hours or however long it is, and it's just left no impact on me whatsoever. And the Electric State is essentially that, but just with a bigger budget and worse actors. Because at least the Grey Man has Ryan Gosling. At least it has him. Like he's not good in the movie, but at
it
least it
does.
has him. The Electric State has Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. So
It's true. And well, technically I guess he doesn't act in it, but there's this whole AI thing that goes on in it with Bill Clinton Do you remember this? Where they, because the movie is technically set, isn't it set in like the 90s?
Somewhat like that, yeah.
Where they're trying to essentially like the government is trying to like I can't. This is how bad it is. I can't even remember if the government is teaming up with the robots or if they're trying to defeat the robots. I think they're trying to defeat the robots, and they're trying to like demonize them through like propaganda campaigns. And they have like an AI version of Bill Clinton come on the screen and do that, which I'm guessing he had to get permission for. Um, I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna
Who knows at this point? But
full disclosure. I I briefly for like 10 minutes fell asleep watching this with Brady.
it's fair. Fair.
I there are no other films on my list that I fell asleep watching, but this is one of a few where I'm looking right now at the cast, and bear in mind I already said I couldn't remember anything from The Gray Man, but like I'm looking at this cast and I'm like, wait a minute, Jason Alexander is in this, and Stanley Tucci is in this, and Hank
I
Azaria,
remember Stanley
and
Tucci for sure.
Coleman Domingo's in this, Brian Cox, Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito, Kei-Hugh Kwan, Woody Harrelson. I'm like Jenny Slate.
It's a
I'm
pretty
like
stacked
looking
cast. Brian
like
Cox.
Holly Hunter, and I'm like, who did they play? What were their character like? What were their character names? What was their like service to the plot? Because all I remember was really bad Chris Pratt lead performance, very bland and forgettable Millie Bobby Brown, which is just kind of her stock thing nowadays. She just stars in Netflix slop, and just like really really bland bad action with visual effects that didn't really impress for the like extraordinary like $350 million budget that this film had for some reason. It just it's a nothing movie. Like even on the worst films, like the next three films that are on my list now, I at least have things to say about them.
Same,
I
same. I
can
at least
point
remember them better.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can point to what makes these films so bad, in my opinion. And even though there's another film that I would say is like just as dull, at least I remember moments from that one. The Electric State like went in and went out like the whole like memory wiping thing from Men in Black, if you've ever seen Men in
Yeah,
Black or
exactly. Yeah,
anything.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like that. It feels like I'm looking at the poster, I'm looking at the cast, I'm looking at the plot synopsis on Letterboxd right now, and I'm like, wait, is this real? Did I watch this? And then I'm like, no, I absolutely did watch this because I remember pressing play. I remember falling asleep, and I remember watching it on call with Brady and just having the worst fucking time of my life. So it was really bad in the moment, but unfortunately, I can't really describe why it was so bad because it is like junk food in replacement of cinema. Every single time Marvel fans get mad at Martin Scorsese for saying that Marvel movies are like theme park rides, where they're just like in and out. It's like, wow, you get the highs, you get the exhilarating moments here, but there's no real substance to it. That's exactly what the Electric State is. It's spectacle, it's big names that you can say, I know that person, and it's something that Netflix can put on their slate. So you open Netflix and you're like, oh, there's a big budget motion picture out from the guys who made the Avengers films. I
Yeah.
guess I'm gonna watch it. You watch it and there's nothing to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It is just one of the most like soulless motion pictures I've watched all year. And honestly, if the other three films I have on my list weren't like more atrocious, I could see this being like a number one film, like just for just how like nothing it is. Like it is just
Yeah.
everything I hate about the modern landscape of blockbuster cinema, streaming movies, and like giving filmmakers who really do not give a shit about the art of film the resources to make things that aren't even films, and they are
Oh
just
yeah.
slop. Like it's like you could have made what fuck like I don't know, like 300, say the budget's $350 million. You could have made $350 million movies with the cost of this shit, but instead you made a film that's only being talked about 6 to 8 months later so it can appear on worst of the year
Yeah.
lists.
You
Bravo,
could make Marty
Netflix.
Supreme like 7 times,
Mhm.
honestly. Like something like that.
Dude,
Uh,
you could make Oh god, I'm not good at math, but I'm guessing like you could make like over 1,000 castration movies for the price of the Electric State. And the castration movie one has like a budget of like 50 Canadian grand, like 50 grand Canadian,
I
which
thought
is
you were about to
less
say 50 Canadian dollars.
50 Canadian dollars, but like holy shit, you could make 1 billion well, like
Yeah,
like 1 billion Who Killed Captain Alex's over the Electric
right, right.
State.
Yeah.
Give Look Hollywood the money to make action movies. That would be a better decision than whatever the fuck they're doing with this Russo experiment. But
Yeah.
I hate it. I despise it. I fucking hate the Russo brothers as filmmakers. I don't know them
They're
as
the worst.
artists,
So
but they
I've
are
been
just
thinking a lot about them in the context of, this recent merger between Netflix and Warner Bros. Because, it has a lot of, implication for the future of movie theaters, especially.
mm,
And I think it is absolutely paramount for everybody in the industry, like who is actually on the creative side, the Nolans, the Spielbergs, all, directors in general, to stick up for the theater, to stick up for the collective experience of seeing a movie in a theater and sort of having that reaction with a crowd as the best way to experience the medium. And the Russo brothers, just despite the fact that they've made like one of the most expensive and successful movies ever made with Avengers Endgame, they do not give a shit about movie theaters. Like
oh
they
no.
actively have, it seems like to me that they actively have contempt for them, and they blame like the expensive prices on the theaters themselves, rather than just everything else in our economy that causes inflation, plus the fact that the movies are theme park rides now because of the shit that they make, which then brings up the prices, and theaters have to depend more on like concession revenue and all this stuff. So yeah, I get so pissed off whenever they talk about this.
I
And it'd be one thing if they had the filmmaking chops to back it up. They don't. They make shit like this and The Gray Man. Like they like there are filmmakers that have come out of the Marvel machine, Ryan Coogler, Scott Derrickson, that have made good movies afterwards, and they make shit like this over and over again. But yeah.
This is from the press run for The Gray Man, but I figured I'd close this segment reading a quote from Joe Russo.
Uh-huh.
We're in crisis right now because everyone's at war with each other. It's sad to see, as guys who grew up loving film. A thing to remember too is it's an elitist notion to be able to go to a theatre. It's very fucking expensive. So, this idea that was created, that we hang on to, that the theatre is a sacred space, is bullshit. And it rejects the idea of allowing everyone in under the tent.
Leon, the more we're talking about this, the more I want to like elevate it on the list.
Joe Russo continued. Where digital distribution is valuable, other than what I said earlier about how it pushed diversity, is that people can share accounts. They can get 40 stories for the cost of one story. But having some kind of culture war, or whether there's value in that or not, is fucking bananas to us. They explain that the $200 million Grey Man was made for a theater. That's how we shot it, how we styled it, and on a technical level, how we supported it. And oh god. And then the final quote. When we worked with Marvel, we traveled the world for a decade, said Joe Russo. What that allows you is an understanding that goes beyond what a Hollywood-centric point of view
Oh,
of how to
fuck
create
off.
content is. We're agnostic about delivery. You know what might make everyone happy is Netflix starts doing 45-day windows and they have their giant digital distribution platform. Everybody wins. That's what that feels like where it's going. These guys fucking suck.
They're the
I
worst.
hate them. Like
Yeah.
God, fuck you, Joe Russo.
Are they
I'm gonna say
directing
anything about.
the Doomsday one, or
Oh yeah, they're doing the next
okay,
two
okay.
Avengers movies.
Okay, so I know to not go see those. Okay. Just double
Oh,
checking. Just double checking.
because you really wanted to go see them,
I
regardless.
was so excited to see what was going to happen next in the very, tense and constantly evolving and sprawling Avengers saga.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great.
Yes.
I love the trailers where they're bringing back characters who we last saw 3 years ago as if it's a big reveal. Wow, they're
Mm.
bringing back Thor again? He had a movie 3 years ago. Whoa, that's crazy. Fuck. Oh God.
God.
Anyway,
Anyway, yeah, that was
is
I
that your
think
number four as
I think that
well?
was both of our number four. So we'll do your number three next, I think.
Oh, my number three. Okay. Oh, this one's a fun one. This is like a fun bad one. So my number three is Him, the
Oh, okay.
sports
I haven't seen
horror movie Jordan Peele produced. So every piece of marketing was like from Jordan Peele, the creator of
Yeah.
Get Out. When no, it's
I
not a Jordan Peele movie. The
I knew
advertising
you were gonna
campaign.
have this on your list, so I put this in the thumbnail just to tease a little bit. But
Good, good. Hell yes. It is remarkably awful. Kind of like how when we were talking about Death of the Unicorn earlier, and I felt like I think I mentioned it's like faux A24, where it feels like it's trying to have that elevated feel and everything. That's exactly what Him is. It is a film with absolutely no characterization for its lead character. It is a film that has twists and reveals and subtext and commentary that are just completely like juvenile and redundant to a point where I'm like, did like a fucking like 12-year-old write this? Like it's so bad. It's from a first-time filmmaker, and you can kind of tell, no offense to the guy who made this, the writers are fucking terrible. Like they just some of the worst dialogue I've heard all year. It is a film that looks very fine for what it is, but there's no. It's a film that has pretty visuals and it looks expensive because Jordan Peele and Universal have put money behind it, but there is no real, like, I don't know, there's no deeper meaning to any of the images on screen. You're looking at something and it's like, oh, that looks like it's like a trippy A24 shot, but there's no like real like meat on the bones of this film. It's a film that has concepts and then completely fails to utilize them in any interesting way. It has Marlon Wayans really overacting to a point that a lot of people seem to like him in this movie. I don't. I think he's really bad in the film. And it has the
how is he
final.
related to Damon Wayans again? I forget.
Yes, they're the Wayans brothers, like the Scary Movie guys. Like
Yes, yeah.
he's like the face of Scary Movie is in this, and he's doing his like kind of. I'm trying to find the equivalent of like who he's trying to replicate. It's like, you know, when you get like a big supporting actor like a Tony Collette or like a in this year like fucking Bring Her Back lady.
Sally Hawkins. Yeah.
Sally Hawkins, yeah, it's like where you're taking an actor who doesn't really work in like serious prestige horror, and you're like, whoa, holy shit, we're gonna get this kind of performance. Marlon Wayans is really trying for that. I'm not gonna give him too much shit because it does seem like it's something he really cared about, but it just doesn't translate to like a good performance whatsoever. It's really bad, and the dialogue he's working with is just frankly like abysmal. And the big thing for me is it wraps up in a way that I can only describe as you're watching this film's like 90 minutes, 95 minutes long. You're watching 90 minutes of, oh, dude, it's elevated horror, and oh, dude, it's got the crazy performance that people are really going to like. And then it turns into the monkey and Deadpool and Wolverine for its final 5 minutes.
Hmm.
It's one of the worst endings I've ever seen. Oh, also, quick shout out to Tim Heidecker, who has a supporting role in this film. One of the worst fucking things I've had to endure all year. I think Tim Heidecker it consistently stars in some of the worst films I've ever seen, and this is no exception. Fucking diabolical performance. I don't like singling out individuals because I think it's quite mean. I know I just did that with the Russo brothers, but they're not real. But with Tim
They're the
Heidecker,
movie. They're like the Satan of movies, basically.
yeah, they're basically a Satan of movies.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this, Tim, do better. Stop acting in shit, please. Holy fuck, because like Tim Heidecker is a very talented man, and he just like consistently picks the worst fucking film projects I have ever seen. He's in like Ant-Man 2 and the Vacation remake and this and like, oh god, I can't stand him. Like he's just really atrocious. Um a film that nobody would even be talking about, and barely anyone went to see anyway, but nobody would have given the time of day if Jordan Peele's name wasn't attached to it. And I think it's very, in the same way I was talking about Universal mismarketing Megan 2.0 for the LGBTQ audience. I feel like him is trying to tap into like the, oh yeah, we really like Jordan Peele. Like that's it. It's like if
Right.
you like Jordan Peele, it's like, oh yeah, it's a Jordan Peele film. No, it's not. He has no involvement in this film outside of financing it. That's it. Like he there's no like great direction from him. There's no like great like writing from him. There's like it's nothing like Get Out or Nope or Us. And no, just I feel ashamed that like Universal would really try and push this. Like I don't know if you remember like years back when that film Mortal Engines came out, like that big blockbuster, and they were like from Peter Jackson when it was just a different filmmaker, but because he produced it, his name was all over the marketing like it was his film, or like Tim
Yeah.
Burton with A Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that.
Right.
It's
Right.
like one of those instances where I'm like, you're
From
just
the world
bringing
of Jordan Peele. No. Yeah.
yeah, like Jordan Peele's him, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. Like,
You don't want your name on this, buddy. You don't. Yeah.
yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for fans of like Nope and Get Out, expecting something that's like kind of quality, and then
Yeah.
no, it's fucking atrocious. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's dull. I wouldn't say it's like as excruciatingly boring as the Electric State, but it's also like an hour shorter. So
True. Yeah.
there's that. But I do think just that nothing about it works. It's just one of the most baffling, confounding experiences I've had in a movie cinema, like in a movie theater all year. Just awful, awful. I
No,
feel like
I did not see it, but I there was a reason I didn't end up seeing it. Is I started hearing like really bad things from like friends who saw it,
yeah.
so I was like, I don't know.
It's quite atrocious. And I will say, before we get onto your number three, I feel like my number two is either your number three, two, or one. I know that,
Okay.
but I don't know which. So I'm curious to see. What's your number three?
My number three is Love Hurts.
Oh no, that's like 14th on my list. Let's talk about
Okay,
Love
okay.
Hurts. That
Before
one's
I go into it, let me just fix the lighting in here real quick, just because it's getting a
yeah,
little darker.
yeah, for sure. Oh,
I think it's a little bit lighter, but anyway, Love Hurts. Yes. So this is a action comedy, kind of like I feel like this could be an interesting double feature with what's the Valentine's Day one you brought up?
love Heart Eyes.
Hard Eyes. Yes.
Yes.
Which is like the Valentine's Day slasher. This is the Valentine's Day like action movie kind of. It's very much like I have to say I am a little happy that the like Ryan Reynolds like copy movies, like all the other actors like trying to be Ryan Reynolds, is sort of dying off a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're still getting a couple, like we're getting less of them than we used to, but this was one for this year for sure. Unfortunately, starring the incredible Ke Huy Quan from Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, The Goonies, Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's had a nice little run.
The Electric State.
Other than some of his recent projects, he has had a nice, cute little, like career resurgence. But man, so this is essentially he plays, I believe, a real estate agent who is like a retired like John Wick type essentially, and he basically, I think his former like partner in crime that sort of resurfaces in his life. That's his who plays her from West Side Story. I think it's Ariana DeBose. I think
Ariana DeBose. That's the name.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of becomes a bit of like a like Valentine's Day, like sort of a romance like action movie with her and these other like people involved in this crime plot. But it is, I think, one of the more obnoxious movies I've seen in a long time in terms of kind of like it's like the Ryan Reynolds, like quippy action kind of stuff. and
Yeah.
then the actual action itself is shot so poorly. Like it is so kind of, you're like floating constantly. There's never like a moment to like actually get the full stunt, and it's so digital, awful, just really horrible like action sequences. And I watched it on a plane. I think that's probably the setting to see it in, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of like, after really enjoying Everything Everywhere All at Once, it just kind of sucks to see what Ke Huy Kwan's been up like since then. Like it's
You're not happy that he's in like Loki season 2 and the Electric
no,
State.
it just seems like he's
Love
like going on like the
Hurts.
cash grab route where he's just doing the stuff that's easy, and like I don't know.
Mm. It's disappointing. I basically like every complaint you have about the movie I echo. It's really obnoxious. Ironically, it's directed by one of the I forget, is it Perry. I think his name's something Perry. He's one of the stunt coordinators and stunt team members from John Wick and
Oh
everything.
yeah,
So like you expect like some half decent action.
and the
No,
Fall Guy and like some other stuff that has decent action in it. Yeah,
yeah, like he's worked on films that are like notable for their action at the very least, and no, it's just really bad. It's also just like barely scratches like feature length. Like it feels like they were really like there's so little to Love Hurts, but like I'm surprised it even made it to like theaters because I think the credits begin at like the 71-minute mark or something. Like it's absolutely like absurdly short
oh
because there's
yeah,
so many credits and like there's no meat to the bones, there's no characterization, the action looks like shit. It's really it feels bloated even though it's so short, like because there's nothing of substance really happening in the film. And again, it's
yeah,
just a waste of like actors who are actually quite talented. Like I know Ariana DeBose is just starting shit recently, like Argyle, which I still haven't seen,
true.
and stuff like that. But like she's great in West Side Story. Ke Huy Quan, he is great when you utilize him correctly. This film does not utilize either of them correctly and just comes
No,
across as, again, I've used this for like two or three of the films on my list, but it feels like nothing more than fodder for a streaming service. It feels like something that can fill up a little rectangle on HBO Max or Peacock or whatever the fuck. I think it's Universal. Universal are taking the cake this year. Holy shit.
oh
Him,
man.
fucking Megan 2.0, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Love Hurts. Like, Jesus,
Yeah,
the guys
after
have
having
any
a
other?
Best Picture a couple years ago, they've gone down the toilet.
Oh, God, yeah, no, I'm just looking now. Yeah, this is like really remarkably bad. A remarkably bad year for Universal. No, I basically, yeah, agree with everything you said. Really bad. It's like bottom 15 for me. I think I've seen films that I found a bit more offensively atrocious or like excruciatingly bad. And I guess the only thing I can really say about Love Hurts is again, it's like 70 minutes long, so it's like one of the less excruciating viewings, the least excruciating viewings I've had this year, but it's still not good. It's still really bad, and I just hope
Yeah.
that I get
The
the
other thing I was going to mention too is that like with like an action hero, like you want to make the character like relatable and sort of like human a little bit, like, and they try to with some of the romance stuff,
yeah.
but for his like personal stuff, like he's a real estate agent, and he is so like passionate about like the grind set of sort of like the office like politics and everything, and they try to get you like to care about that, and it's just kind of impossible to at a certain point. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, great movie. That's your number three,
that's
right?
my number three. Yeah, what's your
I
number two?
My number two we might share.
Probably.
Um,
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah,
is it an author-driven project from one of the biggest hacks in the film industry right now?
it is. It is. It
We
is.
share, we share it. Okay, so we'll share. We've had how many like similar spots now? Four or
Many.
five?
so many
Oh,
more that like our best of the year list was like we had
like
what,
3,
two
4.
or
Yeah,
something like that. Like
like
yeah,
in the same place, I wouldn't say more than like 1 or 2 films. I think like we had a few overlapping, but no. Yeah, this one is from one of the great like filmmakers of all time. Someone who's like full from grace for me at least has been remarkably bad in a way that like I'm just so frustrated
yeah,
like where like with someone like Mel Gibson. I'm like, I never really loved his films anyway, so I'm not disappointed. Or
yeah.
Osgood Perkins. But
Or like the
oh
Russo brothers. Yeah, same.
yeah,
Yeah.
like these filmmakers, they're like low-hanging fruit for the most part. They suck. But Trey Edward Schultz, my man.
So I will say, by the way, the film is Bring Her Back. Just or not Bring Her Back. So what am I talking about?
Hurry Up Tomorrow.
Hurry Up Tomorrow. Why did I get those two confused?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm being too mean to Bring Her Back, but I never liked Trey Edward Schultz to begin with. I think he
That's
sucked.
fair.
Well, I to be fair, I've never seen Krisha, but man, like I remember It Comes at Night, I think is one of the most infuriating things that A24 has ever released. Um,
I really like It Comes at Night. I really like It Comes at Night, and I love Creature, and
okay.
like it's like I love his first film. I think his second film is like close to being great. And then he makes Waves. And Waves is just like I fucking hate the Waves. Like earlier you were saying like Death of a Unicorn's one of the worst A24 films. Waves for me is like holy shit. I hate Waves. It's so like, oh, Euphoria is popular, so we're gonna do the same thing that Euphoria does in a 2 hour time span, and it's gonna be a film about how Trey Edward Schultz is commentating on like stuff that goes on with like crazy families and masculine families and stuff, and he's going to try and tap into the black culture and everything. I'm like, stop doing this
Well,
now.
he continued that
Stop.
with this one.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's one of those things where I was like, I hate everything that Waves is doing. I think Waves is like the most Tumblr coded movie ever made. It's something that exists purely so people can say, I like that song on the soundtrack, or they can just take an out of context quote from this film and post it on like Facebook or Twitter as like a backdrop or something. Like it just feels like it's tailor made to be like reposted in like chunks and stuff. It doesn't feel like a real movie. I can't stand Waves. And then the concept of his next directorial effort being a film that's a vanity project for the ever so fantastic Abel Tesfaye, The Weeknd, as part of a companion piece to the final album that The Weeknd is releasing, probably under his alias. Under that alias, I'm assuming he'll still make music, but this is apparently the final album, and he decided to go big with a film from auteur Trey Edward Schultz with a bit of money. I think it's one of the worst performing movies of the year. Like it bombed so horrifically at the box office because no one gave a fucking shit about a film companion piece to a Weekend album. I don't think anybody was interested in that, especially after the fact that we've already seen the Weekend act, and he's in 5 minutes of Uncut Gems, and he's probably the worst part of that film. His line deliveries are terrible in that, and then he's abysmal in The Idol, the Sam Levinson project. Like he's so bad in that
One of
it's
the first
almost like,
things we ever talked about on stream together was The Idol, by the way.
oh god,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so like it's one of those things you've just got to watch. Like it's so bad. It's fascinating. And yeah, you get the guy who's already making like phony A24 movies to make a film that masquerades as this really deep movie where Trey Edward Schultz is like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot this film on 35 mil, and then I'm gonna have some 16 millimeter sequences here and there. I'm gonna shoot some of it on 8 millimeters, some of it's gonna be digital, and I'm gonna really toy with the formats to do absolutely fucking nothing. There
Yeah.
is nothing in this movie whatsoever that even deserved to be shot on film. That is valuable film that you are wasting for more
Yeah.
important projects that aren't vanity projects, for how it's
Yeah.
really, really difficult to have sleep paralysis.
We should yeah, we should say a little bit of what it's about. Yeah, so in part, yeah, it's in part dealing with his like The Weekend. He's sort of playing himself like with his like sleep disorder thing. But the other
Yeah.
aspect of it is I think in part because he he's up all the time and he is, kind of bored a little bit. He's kind of Rear Window style, wants to reach out to a fan, and he like invites the fan like closer than he should, and the fan starts to develop it, played by Jenna Ortega, by the way, who I don't think is terrible in the film necessarily. She's pretty bad though. It's like I like her, so I don't want to like say anything overwhelmingly terrible, but yeah, so she and it becomes kind of a king of comedy situation where the celebrity gets in much like it gets in way too deep with this person, and there's sort of a parasocial relationship thing going on. This would actually be a really interesting double feature with something I had on my list, on my honorable mentions this year for my best of the year, which was Lurker. Really cool British movie that also, like you were saying, changes formats all the time, where like it alternates between like a 16 millimeter look and like this cool like video camera digital thing. The difference is Lurker has a good script and like develops the characters in nuanced and complex ways, whereas like the one of my favorite scene in Hurry Up Tomorrow is where Jenna Ortega like ties the Weeknd to the bed and like starts like torturing him and stuff like that. And it was just like, no, Jenna Ortega, definitely don't tie me to the bed. What are you doing? Like,
I think like it's so funny because when you're watching that sequence in the film, it's so obvious, but it's like, for lack of a better term, it's just no. I don't want to say this sounds mean, but like it's almost like pervert fodder, where it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's
I was about to say
purposely
it's
like
like slightly masturbatory. I think.
yeah,
Like
yeah. It's
it's
just like
yeah,
oh, like because like Jenna Ortega's in like really like low cut clothing and everything, and she's like dancing around to like blinding lights, and it's like it's one of those things where like it exists purely so we can perv on Jenna Ortega, basically, like the audience can, and I
yeah.
find that so leery and weird. Like I
I'm
think it's
surprised Sam
really
Levinson wasn't involved in this project.
I
Like,
am too.
yeah.
I am too. And no, I just want to say, you mentioned the king of comedy. Maybe the weekend should go by that from now on because his performances, he is the king of funny performances. He's atrocious in this movie in a way that few actors, few people who bestow the title of actor above themselves could truly ever compete with. He doesn't have a single believable line delivery in this film. His facial expressions are just baffling and don't really convey any emotion. The opening, like 30 seconds of this movie, is just him going into the camera, and it's really
Oh
funny.
shit! I
Um,
totally forgot about that.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah,
and also we've got to point out Barry Keoghan's in this movie, and he's fucking terrible. Like
and he's
remarkably bad
always
for
good.
him. He's
Yeah.
always good. He's so fucking bad in this film, but I think that's the biggest shock of the movie because Jenna Ortega, like, I don't want to be mean to her. She seems really cool. She has a terrible film record, like, track record for, like, the type of film she's been in, especially recently. But, like, I expect better from Barry. Like,
Mhm.
he's in good stuff and he's consistently good, so I don't know what the fuck happened there. But yeah, no, the overall, overarching, like, themes of the movie are just it's really, really hard to be one of the most successful musicians in the world. Please feel bad for me because sometimes I can't go to sleep, and sometimes people love me so
I know.
fucking much that they want to kidnap me. They want to tie me to a bed and they want to sing my songs that are so good that they know every single lyric to them. Please, please feel bad for me.
Yeah.
It is just one
It
of the
sounds
most like
fake, but like that's actually what happens in the movie.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a film that like it only exists to basically say I'm living the hardest life imaginable, so much so that I'm gonna spend millions upon millions of dollars of my own money to make a film about how hard my life is. And it comes off as just embarrassing more so than anything else. Like it's very funny in the moment, and you can there are so many moments from this film that like I could see someone saying it's so bad it's good for just how like incompetent it is, how like just lackluster it is as a motion picture. But like at the end of the day, you're watching it and you're just like, this is just like really fucking embarrassing. Like that someone would make a film like this, and I'm all for people making art that's personal. Like even Trey Edward Schultz, his first film, Creature. The actress who plays Krisha is his real life aunt, and from
Yeah.
what I remember, I'm pretty sure it's based on some of her like real life experiences too. So I'm totally like up for like artists taking real things from their life and trying to create inspiration out of it. But when all you're saying is woe is me for like an hour and 30, 40 minutes or something with no substance, embarrassing
Being a
performances,
celebrity is really hard,
being
Leon.
a celebrity is really hard, isn't it? And there's like sequences where like Jenna Ortega ties him up to the bed, and she's like, "Did you know Blinding Lights was #1 on the charts for like 16 weeks in a row?" And I'm like, I'm going to throttle you, Abel. Shut the fuck up. Like it's so fucking like self-indulgent and pay. And whenever it's not doing that shit, it's just ripping off other things. It's just ripping off like concert films and stuff like this that you've seen before. Like it's doing like a Pink Floyd The Wall kind of thing with like how some of the moments are very musical. And then I don't know if you remember, there's like sequences where he's having like horrible dream sequences, and he goes into like a hotel, and then he goes underground, and it's like ripping off like David Lynch and stuff. Like it's doing stuff where like there's shots from Twin Peaks or like Inland Empire that he's just
Yeah.
wholesale stealing from, like a
Isn't
person.
there like the Lost Highway like strobe light
Yeah,
at
there's
one
like the
point
strobe
or
light, and there's
yeah.
also like the sequence of a woman, or like a person, I should say, in like a darkly lit area with like the big like flashlight on her face, running up to the camera. That is
Yeah.
just something from Twin Peaks, and that's just something from Inland Empire. Like you're not doing something original. You're just cherry picking things from like films and pieces of media. Like again, King of Comedy, you mentioned that's like a very obvious point of comparison, and you're doing nothing of substance with it. You are just reheating people nachos or whatever that phrase is that people say. Like it's just one of those things where I'm like, this is just so fucking embarrassing. And like
Yeah.
even though it's not my #1 film of the year, like my #1 film of the year is just bad for a different reason. This is just like dude, The Electric State. I expect dog shit from that. I expect dog shit from like filmmakers like the people who are making like Megan and Five Nights at Freddy's. But like Trey Edward Schultz, at the very least, has made things that I consider good to great. Like I know
Yeah.
you don't like It Comes at Night, but like I imagine you probably get something out of Creature, and even with It Comes at Night, at least like Joel Edgerton's good in that movie. Like he's
Yeah, he
giving
is.
it his all. Like
Riley Keough's
there's
good in it. It's good
yeah,
performances.
like
Yeah.
there's things in his films for pre waves where I'm like, no, this is a guy who could really make something interesting one day. And he's just went from like a disappointing dog shit A24 film to something that's even more irredeemable and just like awful in every conceivable way. There is nothing I can really point to in this film that's like good. Like it's atrocious. The
Yeah.
only reason to watch it is if you really want to laugh at the Weeknd's performance, because he really thinks he's doing something here.
Yeah.
Like he really
It's
does.
impressive. It's
Yeah.
an impressively bad performance for sure.
Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah, that
Well,
so that
okay,
was
so I'm
both of
actually
them.
I'm kind of stumped as to what your #1 is. I'm pretty sure you know what mine is, but what's your
Mm.
#1?
My #1. Oh, this is one of the later editions. I think this is the second latest edition after Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
One of the more recent films I've seen. Just for again, this is like one of the most boring movies, and it's for the first time, maybe ever. Well, it's actually kind of fitting because on my best of the year list, my #1 and #2 spots are both taken up by Louise Word, who directed Castration Movie. So I thought it was only fitting that my top bottom 10 films of the year list also had a repeat offender, we should say. And that is, of course, my good pal Osgood Perkins with Keeper.
Oh God.
Holy shit. Keeper is one of the most. Oh my god, I fucking hated Keeper from its very first frames to the very end. It is a film that kind of like him and Hurry Up Tomorrow masquerades as like this fake like A24 elevated horror film. But instead of doing like I will, if I have to give the monkey credit for anything, at least it was a subversion on the types of films that Osgood Perkins was making before the monkey. Like Longlegs is very much doing the Kiyoshi Kurosawa riff and everything. It's doing the police procedural like
Exorcist
serial
3 and
killer
yeah.
stuff. It's doing that, but the world was a much worse place before Longlegs came out because we had three of the most boring fucking motion pictures ever directed by Oz Perkins. We had The Black Coat's Daughter, which is insufferably boring and has nothing of note to praise. We have
I've not seen it,
Gretel
by
and
the way. Need
Hansel.
to.
Oh, Gretel and Hansel. Dude, it's crazy because they switched Hansel and Gretel. Whoa, fucking crazy. Good job, Oz. You're really reinventing the wheel there, you fucking hack. Really boring rip-off of The Witch, but it's PG-13 and really dull. Nothing of note there. And then we have my favorite film title of all time, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, or whatever the fuck it's called.
That is what it's called. Yeah.
Genuinely a contender for the dullest film ever made.
I
Like,
think
there
so.
is nothing in that film that happens. It's like I remember more about the Electric State, and you know how much I fucking remember about that one. And I've seen I Am a Pretty Thing That Lives in This House twice. I've
Oh
watched
damn.
that twice, and I can't remember anything about it. So with that, I was like, okay, Longlegs, something interesting. He's made a good film. Maybe the next one will be good. Oh, The Monkey, really fucking terrible. But hey, at least he tried something different. At least he didn't make this boring, elevated horror shit that he was trying to do for like 10 years before Longlegs. And then what does he do after The Monkey? He goes right back to that, to a film that notoriously did not have critical reviews. The embargo for this film was the day of release, where I think The Monkey and Longlegs at least had reviews coming out early and like good word of mouth to kind of sell you on the
Right.
crazy epicness of The Monkey or the scariness of fucking Longlegs. Keeper was a total mystery, and the only things we really got beforehand were a series of quotes from filmmakers who had seen 40 minutes of the movie, not the whole movie, 40 minutes. And they're like, dude, this is the scariest thing. You've got Guillermo del Toro and Bong Joon-ho and all these filmmakers talking about how, oh, it's a really crazy, inventive movie. And an incredible quote from our favorite Eli Roth, who stated that the movie is surreal like a David Lynch film. One of the
Yeah.
worst quotes I've ever heard from someone. So with that great thing, you've got to wonder, okay, mystery campaign, withholding it from critics. What is Keeper? Keeper is 100 minutes of Tatiana Maslany being gaslit in a house. There is nothing else to it than that. It is a film that is remarkably boring, that has nothing of substance to say whatsoever. It's trying to do the elevated horror film thing, but instead just having really shitty jump scares. It's no characterization for its antagonists, no sense of style. It looks like complete fucking mud. A film where you're watching Tatiana Maslany go crazy in a house, mostly by herself. She's really fucking trying. I have to give her credit. She's a good actor. I feel really bad that she's stuck in the Osgood Perkins machine. And just a film that has no
The
real
Osgood
bite.
Perkins machine.
Oh
TM.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, it's awful. 'Cause she was in The Monkey, and she's also in his new film that's coming out too, I think. So she's
yeah.
stuck there. It's just a film that takes every bad element of Osgood Perkins' previous films when he went as Oz Perkins, that initial trilogy, the trifecta of dog shit that he made before, and it just goes back to that, and we're doing the exact same things that he was doing before: substanceless characters, mind-numbingly like atrocious pacing, no characterization whatsoever, no horror, visuals that are supposed to be weird for the sake of being weird instead of actually eliciting like any feelings or any kind of like genuine terror or anything. One of the worst endings I've seen all fucking year. Really smug kind of, oh yeah, I'm a really good filmmaker kind of attitude when you're adding nothing to the landscape of cinema. I say this in my review, and I'm going to say it again. The Osgood Perkins experiment is over. We do not need to continue financing this man's films because it is so obvious that he has nothing to say. He has no ideas whatsoever. And the only film he's ever made that was good is just stealing from two of the greatest films ever made. If you steal from Cure, you are going to probably make something that's watchable because
Yeah,
Cure is incredible.
yeah,
If you steal from The Silence of the Lambs or Seven, you are probably going to make something that's even remotely worth watching if you have Nicolas fucking Cage.
yeah,
After
yeah,
that, you've just proven time and time again that you do not know how to make a good film, a compelling film, a film with a narrative that's worth dissecting, analyzing, enjoying just as like fodder. You make disposable, fake, faux, elevated garbage, and I want you to stop. I don't want you to make another film, Oz. I want you to stop. You seem like a really nice guy. I really like reading your interviews. I really like that you stick up for LGBTQ people, and I really, really, really like that you seem like you love the horror community. The horror community does not love you. Stop doing this shit. Please. Find another medium. Go star in Quigley 2 or whatever that fucking dog movie that you were in is. Is it
it
Quigley?
is Quigley. Yeah, he's in
Yeah,
there
Quigley.
with Gary Busey. Yeah,
Gary Busey, go make Quigley 2 or something. Start a podcast about how much you love horror films and talk about it. Write books. Become a film critic. Go like do the reverse Chris Stuckman or something. Instead of like being a film critic and then making films. Do something like that. Showcase your love for the genre in any other way than continuing to make mediocre, too bad, to atrocious, to abysmal horror films. Because I am sick of it. And judging from the box office results of Keeper, so is everybody
yeah.
else.
He's gonna
Fuck
make the next
Keeper.
Shining, Leon. After you said this, he's gonna make the next great horror movie.
I no, he's not
No,
capable of it.
he's probably not going to do that.
He needs to stop. He makes me so angry because out of every filmmaker on my top 10 list, there is nobody who I actually like as much as
Yeah,
Osgood Perkins, who I have such a disconnect with when it
yeah,
comes to their art. It's like he's like the inverse. He's like Eli Roth almost, where it's like
well,
well, not anymore. Where like I used to really like Eli Roth for his like film takes and stuff, and I was like, oh, he seems cool, and then he turned out to be a fucking crazy Zionist. But that's besides the
yeah.
point. Fuck
Well,
Eli
you know,
Roth now as a
I think,
person.
but that's the thing is like when you expect more out of your artists, it hurts more when they than when they don't. Or like when they continue to fuck up as much as he has. I think.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
like tremendous because I don't know of any other filmmaker who made three shitty movies, and I was like, okay, I'll give his fourth film a shot. Because like at that point, I would typically just tap out unless I wanted to laugh at something. But then he surprised me. He made a film that I thought was really good, really scary, and even if in hindsight, I'm a little like. I've softened on the film purely because of how much it clearly apes like other horror films that I love even more. Like because Longlegs is very just like it's like taking all these things and just making like almost like a greatest hits for something you didn't make in the first place. But like at least there's good performances there. There is a sense of style to the direction. There is like I don't know, it's well paced, it has an intriguing mystery, and most importantly, it had a killer fucking marketing campaign. Like it was something that intrigued people to the point where they were like, I'm gonna go out and see this even though I know nothing. The Monkey does the inverse thing where it just shows you everything in the film, and then Keeper withdraws everything instead of having that level of intrigue that Longlegs did where it was like, oh, Nicolas Cage serial killer movie, there's these cryptic like pieces of advertising, you're like, oh shit, I want to go see that day one to see what that's all about. What Keeper does is Keeper just doesn't show anything in any of the trailers, doesn't have a marketing push because the film has nothing in it. It's so boring. There's
yeah.
nothing to analyze in the movie. It just feels like it's regressing even more from like because like the monkey doesn't feel like a regression, it feels like a misstep. It's like he's tried something different, but it really didn't
That's it.
fucking
That's a
work.
good point. It's and because it's interesting. Like
Yeah.
there's like something there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's like I as much shit as I give the monkey, and I will and have given the monkey plenty of shit. At
Throw
least
poop, if you
it's
will.
some Poop. Yeah,
It's
poop.
I know as in throwing poop like a monkey.
Like a
Anyway,
monkey. I like I like it. I like it. But yeah, well, at least it was like something. Like at least I can say, hey, you tried. You failed spectacularly, but like at least you tried something new. But then he just goes back to making like I am still the pretty thing that lives in the house, because this is another movie that is so fucking boring and just consists of a woman walking around a house for like 90 minutes or something, with no payoff, no characterization, no like interesting visual elements, nothing remotely that makes something that I would even consider like passable. It's
yeah.
just nothing. Keeper fucking blows, and it was just it's the fastest I have, like, as soon as a director credit has appeared, like towards the end of the film, it's the fastest I've left the cinema all year. Like as soon as I saw that directed by Oscar
I'm picturing you
33.
like immediately getting up and like really quickly walking
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah. No, it was like I literally, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like I was not waiting for anything. It's just abysmal stuff,
You
and
know,
I've
to
just
taking a look at my list, I don't think I've seen very many of these in a theater. I'm
I
double check.
I saw them.
I actually, you know what? I've seen none of these in a theater. Uh,
I saw the Monkey in a theater. Strangers Chapter 2. Flight Risk, him, Hurry Up Tomorrow, and Keeper. So I saw
yeah.
6 of my 10.
You know what? For me,
I
like to
support
go
good
to
films.
I only saw two of even my honorable mentions in a theater, which were Frankenstein and Anemone. That's it. Like the vast majority of these I caught up with at home, which I'm a little disappointed by. You know, I usually don't mind seeing a bad movie in theaters, at least, but
You're a fake cinema defender. You don't
I
care.
am. I'm Scorsese would be so
You
mad at
can't
me right now. I think
you can't look down upon the Russo brothers for being anti-cinema when you don't support films like Megan 2.0 and Hurry Up Tomorrow on the big screen. How dare you, Jackson? How
this is
dare you
true.
not watch Flight Risk on the big screen? What is wrong with you?
It's really where it was meant to be seen.
Yeah.
But no, and I think actually you will continue to think that I'm you will take a check mark off my cinephile card with my number one, which is Ice Cube's War of the Worlds.
Damn it. No, this is a masterpiece. He's not going to talk bad about this. This is an incredible
No,
motion picture that
no.
highlights how incredible you can make films just from your bedroom nowadays. You can just get an actor to film things in their basement, and then
Leon
you
is
can
my number
green
one.
screen.
Shut up. I'm gonna talk about this piece of shit.
It's a masterpiece. Do not believe his lies. Don't believe his lies. He has an agenda, and it's to disregard good, true art. He is
So
a hater.
hold on. I am gonna pull this up. I just wanted to note because I wanted to double check who directed this. This is directed by Rich Lee, who, from what I can tell, has not directed anything other than like some short films and stuff.
He's like a music video guy.
He is a music video guy, but I have to say the man looks incredible. I don't know how well you can see that.
That's an amazing
Dude, like
look.
what a fucking beard. Like I wish that we wish that we could do that.
You know something.
That is
You know
amazing.
something. He looks as great as his films are, which is absolutely fantastic.
But anyway, this is a remake of the classic thing that Orson Welles didn't even, wasn't a film, but he did a radio broadcast of War of the Worlds that was so good that people thought it was actually real and that aliens were actually here to invade us. And then, of course, Steven Spielberg. I believe there's a 50s sci-fi version of it too. And then Steven Spielberg in 2005 did a War of the Worlds adaptation as well. Classic H.P. Wells novel. Everybody knows it. And this does that, but the film starts and ends and is in the middle with Ice Cube in a bedroom who works for like the NSA or some sort of government surveillance agency. And he starts the movie like constantly, and I mean constantly, abusing his role of power to spy on his fucking kids. Like this,
Yeah.
The
It's
entirety of his job.
awesome.
Like
Great
he's
stuff.
talking to his daughter, like he's wanting to check in on how well his daughter is eating. So he's like, "Hey, by the way, as you know, I can use my refrigerator to spy on you. I know exactly what you've taken out of the fridge, so I know how unhealthy you've been eating, like to that level kind of thing."
It's good
And then
parenting. It's good parenting.
very good parenting. And eventually, the titular War of the Worlds event happens where aliens start invading, and most of the movie is Ice Cube is like just single shots. Like they don't even feel like they were shot like in sequence. It felt like they had like ice. They pointed the camera at Ice Cube in his bedroom and go, "Say this line," and he went like, "What are we doing?" And they're like, "Now say this line," and he would just repeat that over and over again.
Would you
There
believe
is
it if
one
that's
shot I have
how?
to say that is
Would you
one of the
believe
most incredible images I've seen in a movie this year, which is the background zoom. I forget exactly
it's like
how
a
this works.
reverse dolly?
Yeah, the reverse dolly, exactly, where like it looks like the background is like closing in on Ice Cube, and he just has this really dumb face, like where he looks at the camera, like it is like just kind of amazed by what's happening. Uh, I normally wouldn't put something this incompetent and this funny on the list because, as Leon has pointed out, there is real entertainment value here. Many YouTubers have made videos about this and talked about like its incredible awfulness as you know
It's
genuinely
incredible.
entertaining. I think the reason that I put it so because normally let me think of my number one worst films the past couple of years. I think 2023 I had The Exorcist Believer, which is just cynical, awful garbage from a director that I kind of respect and ruining a franchise that I love. Uh, Last year we had Emilia Perez, which is this horribly insensitive, drama about trans people and all this stuff. This year we have the reason I put War of the Worlds there is because I really do think it achieved a new low when it comes to just incompetent filmmaking and shilling for a company. Like this is without exaggeration, like an 80-minute ad for Amazon.
It's
Like
awesome. It's awesome. There's a point in the movie where they really need to get a USB stick to something, so they use the Amazon Instant drivers. How is that not cool? It's the guy from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the one that everybody likes. He's in this movie, and Ice Cube has to get the USB stick so he can save the world from the aliens. It's so fucking good. It's exhilarating stuff. I love when you can see shots of Ice Cube reacting and he's holding a drink in his hand. It'll cut to the other person. It cuts back to Ice Cube and the drink isn't there. It's so fucking good. I don't know why you're hating on this movie. It is just one of the most experimental films of all time. It's something where every single minute detail that you typically expect to match up in a film does not match up. It is very sporadic. It is something that's just like, it's almost like kaleidoscopic. Like it feels like an experience. It's experimental. It's not
mm,
it's not
mhm,
bad. It's
mhm,
good. It's really good.
mhm. So if experimental you mean the first movie to have absolutely nothing to have absolutely no reason to exist other than to make money for Amazon.
Oh, but
I
it's
guess
so
it's maybe not the
good.
first movie to do that, but it is the most notable. I think this
Listen,
is the most
listen,
impressive.
listen. Ice Cube, 2020, in the midst of a global pandemic, he's offered by Universal Pictures to star in a reimagining of War of the Worlds from the filmmakers behind the Unfriended movies. How is he going to turn that down? So he goes into his garage, he records these scenes, and they sit on a shelf for 5 years. The studio
Forgot to
doesn't
mention
know
that
what to do
detail.
with it.
Yeah,
The studio doesn't know what to do with it. So what do? They
they edit it
cast
and release it.
they cast a guy for Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Amazon buys the film and they're like, shit, we've only got like 20 minutes of Ice Cube screaming. What should we do? We'll get Diary of a Wimpy Kid in. And what how could we end this film? Fuck, we're Amazon. We deliver, right? Let's just get make that a plot point. We have to save the day because we're really good. We're really good. Amazon is a good company, and in a life-threatening situation, in a world-ending situation, Amazon is there to save you, to save the day because we are good. We are
Yeah.
Amazon. It's awesome. One of the
And it
best
just goes
films
to
of the
show
year.
it's a metaphor, Leon. This is actually, basically uh, all of the things that Amazon are doing right now, whether it's workforce reduction or AI implementation or cutting their labor
Woo!
benefits and all that. This is really just for the human good. This is really just for the
Yes.
good of their workers and the good of humanity. Really, because keep in mind, if not for tech bros, who would be looking out for humanity?
This is true. This is true. I mean, dude, I can't see why you wouldn't like a movie where Ice Cube eventually plays like a rogue hacker who takes down the big bad people, exposes them for their horrendous crimes, and gets retweeted by Joe Rogan.
I forgot about that detail.
How
Oh
could you hate
God.
it? How could you hate it? War of the Worlds, one of the best movies of the year.
It
So good.
probably, what? I probably should have like the Electric State or Hurry Up Tomorrow as my worst of the year, but I don't know. I felt that this like reached a new level of incompetence, something that I haven't seen in years, like legitimately. So I was impressed, and for that it
Oh,
earns the
I was
title.
impressed too. I was impressed.
Because
I was.
the other thing is, if I had just put it as like number 4 or something on my worst of the year list, then maybe you'd forget about it. But being at the number 1 spot, it earns it's notoriety.
It's notoriety for being a misunderstood gem. Yes, yes. Oh, dude,
Oh
it's so
wow.
good. It's one of the best movies of the year. He's wrong, guys. Go and watch War of the Worlds on Amazon Prime. Don't pirate it. Make sure to purchase a subscription for Amazon Prime Video so you can watch it. Even fuck, if you have an Amazon Fire TV, that would be the preferable way to watch the film. It's a
This is true. I know
masterpiece.
we're going back to an earlier comment, but Josh, yeah, I think
It should
Leon
have
makes
been,
some good points here. He makes some
dude.
good points.
Dude, it's. Whew. I've never seen a film as good as War of the Worlds in my life.
I love Amazon, and
I
I think
love Amazon.
I think that's the note on which we're going to leave the stream.
All
Um,
hail Amazon.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate your comments and your venting with us, because this is really what this exercise is for. This is just
Oh
for
yeah.
Leanna and I. This is our therapy, really, because we
It
have to sit through
is. It's
this.
so good to just like let out all of this, these lovely feelings about these films we really love. It's so much fun to talk about. I was gonna say like initially, I know we were both saying this is probably not gonna be as fun as our like best of the year list because obviously we're talking about films we love. But I don't know about you, but I had a hell of a
I
time
had a great
talking about
time. It was
these. Yeah,
fun. Yeah,
it
I had
was.
I had more fun than I did last year, because again, I think there was more to talk about. Like there were a couple movies this year where I was just like, it's slop. I don't have much to say about it.
Yeah.
But there were more that I was like, no, like this is like interestingly bad. This is
Oh.
infuriatingly bad or whatever. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
dude, I gotta say congratulations to Osgood Perkins for being the first filmmaker to have two films on a worst of the year list. I can't think of many other filmmakers who are gonna have that consistency going forward. Like if they released all of the Strangers, Rennie Harlan films the same year like they
Mhm.
originally planned to, maybe he
Yeah,
could have got that, but no,
yeah,
Osgood Perkins, you are like record breaking right now. I can't think of
yeah.
another filmmaker who's had two on a worst of the year list.
I
But
almost had the Russo brothers as back to back, or not back to back, but as like because like 2 years ago or 3 years ago was their my number one worst with the Gray Man, and
yeah,
I thought about putting them as number one this year, but I was like, I kind of wish I did though, because I hate them enough that I don't know, maybe it'd be
what he's
worth it.
trying to say is he regrets putting War of the Worlds at number one. It's a good film, and his number one is The Electric State, guys.
I'm not gonna argue with that too much, but again, yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Leon and I
Thank you,
will be
thank you.
back. does next weekend work for you to do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Next weekend should work
perfect.
fine.
Next weekend, what we're going to do is really my favorite of these streams to do every year, which is the top 10 first time discoveries or first time watches of 2025. So these are our movies that didn't come out in 2025 that are older, but that we're just our favorite like new gems that we found. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in.
See you guys later.
Yeah.
Bye.